Like the Bull, by Citgo, the sign of quality, and by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows with over 2,400 flights a day.
How big a rivalry? Well, the schools can't even agree on how many times they've played. Georgia, according to Florida, leads 43-22-2. Georgia says they lead the series 44-22-2. Nevertheless, this is at least the 68th meeting, and Georgia says the 69th. The deep backs to receive for Florida are both freshmen. On the bottom of your screen is 84, a true freshman, Harrison Houston, 5'9", 170. 6 feet, 210, Monty Duncan is number 81. It is Harrison Houston. Excellent return to the 36-yard line. A return of 27 yards. That's better than his average of 25. Andre Washington with the stop for the Bulldogs. And here comes Shane Matthews, 6'2", 185, a sophomore from Pascagoula, Mississippi. 14 touchdown passes. You see 9 interceptions. Florida can turn it over. They fumble it quite a bit, and they throw some interceptions. They are last in the league in turnovers. Georgia's hoping that will happen today because Florida, a prohibitive favorite in the game by 18 points. On first down, Barber goes in motion. Here's the pitch to 5. Willie McClendon tries the right side, only a couple of yards. Dwayne Simmons with the stop for the Bulldogs. And let's have a look at the diehard key matchups in this ball game today, Tim.
The Georgia defense, Bob, has to make Florida throw the ball. They can't be in the situation where Florida gets its ground game going, so they need to shut that down. Mo Lewis, obviously the leader of that defense, but he's going to need some help from those guys on the inside, Simmons and Allen, and Simmons is going to, if Georgia's going to contain this Florida offense.
This will be second down 8 from the 38-yard line. Single set back is McClendon. He gets it on a little trap play across the 40 to the 41. So Florida has been doing very well on first down. They have a lot of second down short yardage, a lot of third and very short. We're just holding them, and now we're going to get about a third down 5.
Ray Goff has never lost in the stadium. He was 1-0 as a coach, winning last year's game 17-10, 3-0 as a player. But he's chewing that gum today. Anxiety.
Third down 5 from the 41-yard line. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Kirkpatrick lined up in a slot. He's the tight end and leading receiver. Big third down go-to guy. Matthews in some trouble, and he completes the pass for a first down. You talk about poise. Trey Everett makes the reception, number 24. He had all day to throw that ball.
This time they're running the pattern back into the sideline. 24, Trey Everett, just dragging to the sideline, trying to find a hole. You see 44, John Allen in the picture. There's 58, Mitch Davis. Just didn't sense Trey's presence there, and Matthews was able to find him.
Florida first down at the 48-yard line of the Gators. Opening moments from the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. The play fake, Matthews right over the middle, incomplete, intended for Kirkpatrick, the tight end, number 88. He's the senior who has 34 catches on this team and the go-to man when they need the big play.
He has caught 3 passes in each game except the Tennessee game. And that's the game they lost. And so if you can shut him down and squeeze the ball to the outside, although Matthews was very effective against Auburn, throwing it to Mills, throwing it to Barber on the outside, but make him throw the harder throw.
Second down 10. Georgia with a 4-man rush. Matthews, good protection. Mills is way open. Mills to the 24-yard line. Simmons hauled him down. Ernie Mills was lonesome out there. A gain of 28 yards.
Well, Mike Jones, the Georgia strong safety, was sitting inside, getting a jam on the slot. Mills comes to the outside and just sits down. Doesn't try to make any progress upfield. He held Jones to the inside, and then Al Jackson misses. Great hustle by Dwayne Simmons getting back there to make the tackle on the fleet-footed Mills.
First down at the 24-yard line of Georgia. Georgia with a blitz. They pick it up beautifully. The toss is completed to the 18-yard line to Kirkpatrick. Nice job of defensing the blitz by the Florida Gators. Allen came right up the middle.
Let's watch Kirk Kirkpatrick work. They kind of playing a combination blitz man here, and Kirkpatrick crossing shallow. Torrey Evans. Would have been helpful if Torrey could have gotten a jam to prevent the progress of Kirkpatrick across the field.
2nd down, 3. From the 17, here comes McClendon. That ball popped loose down there, and Georgia has recovered. Turnovers were a key in last year's Georgia victory over Florida. We told you the Gators are last in the league in turnover ratio, and that it could be a big part of this ball game. Georgia football at the 15-yard line. Chris Wilson, number 16, came away with it.
Watch number 16, Chris Wilson. The toss goes to McClendon, and Florida has now fumbled the ball 20 times. That's an exorbitant amount of times. The ball squeezes and pops out of there before McClendon goes down, and Wilson dives in, makes a recovery.
Greg Talley, the junior quarterback, leading the way for Georgia. Talley on the rollout, throwing on 1st down, incomplete. 5 blue jerseys around intended receiver Sean Hummings. Talley thrown 2 touchdown passes, no interception for Georgia. And look at the rankings of these 2 teams, and down at the bottom, fewest turnovers. Georgia leads the league in protecting the ball, and Florida's last.
A lot of this comes down to experience. I mean, Steve Spurrier has come in and done an exceptional job of orientating this offense and getting them on track, but he had some things to work with.
The handoff goes to the fullback. It came loose. Florida ball. Alfonso Ellis, the fullback, coughed it up at the 17, and Florida's right back down there. Jerry Odom got it, number 57, the Florida linebacker.
Watch number 50, Brad Culpepper. 57, Odom stepping up in there. Polk, number 99, caused the fumble, and then the scramble was on. Just very aggressive, very opportunistic Gator defense.
First down, they've got the ball just outside the 16-yard line. Matthews wants to throw it. Good protection again. Right over the middle. It is complete to 21, Dexter McNabb, who gets inside the 10. McNabb, the fullback.
I'm sorry, Bob. Very discouraging for a defense. You know, Georgia defense, it's been taking its lumps all year long, and they come up with a big turnover, drag the ball out of Florida, and then the Bulldog offense turns it over right away, and now these guys are trying to find their helmet, get back on the field.
2nd down, 3 from the 9-yard line. Scoreless game so far, early in the 1st quarter. Here's McClendon. He's the man who fumbled down to the 3. Willie McClendon, he was hit by Chuck Carswell, 27.
You know, we saw McClendon play as a true freshman. We've watched his career develop, and he has really grown up this year. He still has a tendency to put the ball on the ground, but he is running with authority. He's running like an adult now, and I think that he and Eric Rett really combined to give Florida a dangerous running game.
Penalty against Georgia has been declined as they spot the ball just inside the 3. Let's call it the 2.5-yard line. 1st down goal as you look at Steve Spurrier. The Gators down the threshold. 1st and goal from the 2.5. McClendon, touchdown, Florida. So Florida got a 2nd opportunity inside the Georgia 20, and they made the Bulldogs pay and have taken a 7-0 lead in this game. 6-0 with the point after coming up. It'll be kicked by Art Chesevsky, number 13. Art, the junior from Tampa, also handles the punting chores for the Gators since early in the season. Point after is good. It's 7-0 Florida. 11:26 to go, 1st quarter.
For 6 straight years, the full-size pickup from GMC Truck has retained more of its original value than any other in America. That's why sales of the Sierra are growing faster than any other full-size pickup. And we intend to keep it that way in 1991 with these new Sierras. And in 92, GMC Truck. It's not just a truck anymore. It's quality on the road. Now, get special incentives on 91 Sierras with automatic transmission.
Die-Hard, America's most trusted replacement battery. Its breakthrough design gives you more power and more confidence from the start. Sears Die-Hard, more power when you need it most.
The Type A personality vacation. The Type B personality vacation. The best vacations are this vacation, the Royal Caribbean vacation.
After the team's trade fumbles, Florida takes it in from the 2.5-yard line. Willie McClendon.
And let's watch who's working here. You see number 56 right there, Tony Rowell, a tackle, and Dexter McNabb. Watch the block he gets on Simmons as he makes this penetration. He gets that block, the seam is created here, and it's a touchdown for McClendon. Good stick there. Good fill by Simmons. McNabb neutralized him, and McClendon ran through Jones into the end zone. Wynn hits him. Jones can't keep him out. Touchdown, Gators.
Willie McClendon's 7th rushing touchdown on the season for Florida. With 11:26 to go in the first quarter, Gators up 7-0. And now Krzyzewski set to kick off to number 1, Andre Hastings. He is a star in the making, folks. Just keep your eye on this true freshman, number 1 from Morrow, Georgia, and number 19, Chad Wilson. It's a short kickoff. Alfonso Ellis steps up there. I'll check it back. That's Carswell who got it. And Carswell takes it out to the 32-yard line. He was playing up on the wing and gets it out to the 32-yard line. And there, Georgia will take over. Greg Talley will have Ellis and Garrison Hurst in the backfield. The Georgia Bulldogs trail it by a score of 7-0. Ellis, you see in the picture, the man who fumbled for the Bulldogs that led to the Florida touchdown. Look at that penetration. Talley is down at the 24-yard line. Tim Paulk got him. Florida was back there. It looked as though before the ball was even snapped.
Well, that's a picture that you may see more than you'd like to see if you're a Georgia fan. See Paulk coming through the crack. It just looks like a missed assignment. They didn't get it counted properly. Talley trying to set up, get rid of the ball in a hurry, and that's what you have to do against this Gator defense because, as I said before, there's going to be a lot of pressure, and that means a lot of man-to-man coverage.
Second down, 16. Great grab out across the 35-yard line by Sean Hummings.
And a great throw by Greg Talley. He just headed flat from his slot position. He comes flat. You see Odom's coming again. They're not going to cut him any slack. Hummings cut flat, looked over his inside shoulder, and Bartley, who is walling off that inside route, gets there to make the tackle.
Player down on the field for Florida is Jerry Odom, number 57, the senior strong side linebacker and a real bell cow leader on this team. He has 63 tackles to lead everybody, coach's son.
And he's just a little fella.
5'10", 215.
Well, I'm not even sure he's 5'10". You know, he may get mad at me for saying that, but I was down there yesterday, and he looked 5'10" to me.
In his cleats.
But he is the type of kid that knows what's going on, can sense what's happening all the time. Had a knee problem, hurt his knee against Tennessee, didn't play against Akron, but now he's back in there. 22 career starts.
Walking off under his own power. Let's hope the young man is okay. It will be Georgia ball, 3rd down 5 at the 36-yard line. Florida leads 7-0. 3rd down conversion opportunity for the Bulldogs. You see that jumpy Florida defense. They're right in the face of Talley. It's picked off. That's Paulk. Right down the sideline and into the end zone. Tim Paulk with the interception. A 36-yard return. Florida turnovers because they're last in the league. And now a Georgia fumble and an interception have led to 2 Florida touchdowns. Krzyzewski's punt after is good. 10:05 remaining in the first quarter. The Gators are up by 2 touchdowns.
Smooth operator.
If I buy an extended Safari XT from GMC Truck, can I take it to work every day?
Definitely.
What about my carpool?
Absolutely.
Can we take it on vacation?
Of course.
With all of our luggage?
All of it.
Will it tow our boat?
Certainly.
It's a big boat.
Safari XT can tow up to 6,000 pounds.
Wow. But can I afford one?
Sure, especially now with great incentives like this. GMC Truck. It's not just a truck anymore. It's quality on the road.
Tim Pauk gets his 3rd interception of the year, and he got an assist from Sean Hummings here.
Bob, they run the same pattern they had just run on the previous play. Hummings, the slot, moves to the outside. The ball came through, hit Hummings, comes back into Pauk's lap, and there he goes. Richard Fain, the Jim Thorpe candidate, leading the way. Pauk doesn't need much help. Trots into the end zone. Let's watch it here. On him close. Might have tipped the ball. Hummings can't handle it, and it pops right back into Pauk's hands. And when you're hot, you're hot. And Tim, boy, he blocks punts. He, as you mentioned, his 3rd interception. He just makes things happen.
That's Florida defense's 3rd touchdown of the year. They've paused the opportunity for many more. The kickoff to Hastings. He'll down it in the end zone. Georgia will bring it out to the 20. Now this young Bulldog team's going to have to start pulling up their bootstraps here with all these freshmen getting down 14-0, and a lot of these fellows, like Hastings for instance, have never played in a game like this with a crowd like this. 50-50.
As Ray talks to Bob Harrison, the receiver coach there on the sidelines, one of the things they know is that whether it's 14-0, 7-7, 50-0, this Florida defense doesn't change. They're going to come get you. This is their prevent defense.
Prevent you from doing anything. That's offsides. Garrison Hurst gets 2 or 3 yards, but Florida jumped offside that time. I thought they were the first time when Pauk came in there and got the sack. Pauk not only has the interception, but a sack on that first series. As you can see, we're having microphone problems with the, actually we're not, the official is.
Yeah, his voice is having a problem, right?
Al Ford is the referee in today's ball game. The penalty against Florida, they move it out here to the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st down 5, Georgia. That was Talley's 1st interception of the year. You realize that junior had not thrown an interception all year until Pauk picked it off. Hurst gets a couple and not much more. Carlton Miles, number 31. And let's go to our studios in Atlanta.
Thank you very much, Bob Neal. An NCAA record in Chapel Hill. Virginia's Herman Moore has caught a touchdown pass for the 9th straight game. That is a record for one regular season. And the Cavs lead North Carolina 14-3 in the second on the Sean Moore to Herman Moore hookup. Now back to Bob Neal and Tim Foley in Jacksonville at the Gator Bowl.
Thanks, Ernie. 2nd down 3 from the 27. Here comes Hurst trying the right side. That defense is there. Nothing happening. Huey Richardson, senior out of Atlanta, was first there, number 90.
And Huey is often first there. You know, he is a formidable object. Number 90, you see him working there. He just moved to defensive end from outside linebacker this year to fit in that 4-4 concept. But it's not just Huey. They're just around the football.
Richardson, you'll be seeing him in a professional NFL uniform. Going to be one of the top draft picks in the country. Some people think the number 1. Double tight ends in there for Georgia. 3rd down 2. Talley's going to try to get it on his own. I don't think he got there. They'll spot that short. He scooted over the line. Robinson and Brandon made the stop for Florida, but I think they'll spot it just shy of the 35. Ray Goff, you see how he feels about the play. They're going to have to punt it away.
Well, they want to keep their defense off the field. They know their defense is outmanned, and he's telling Greg Talley thought he had it. But, you know, you make decisions on the run, and, you know, when you don't have all those big guys and their bad breath after you, it's a lot easier to see things clearly.
Scott Armstrong, another true freshman, punting from his own 15. Florida looks like they're going to come after this. And they do. He gets it away. Barber hit immediately at the 35-yard line by Dwayne Grace. 7:44 to go in the first quarter, and Florida's up by 2 touchdowns.
Heard from an old student. Remember Brian McKenna? Smart kid.
Good ball player. Great hands. Where's he going to college?
He's not.
Too bad.
Studying aviation electronics.
But you said
in the Navy, then college.
The Navy College Fund in Montgomery, GI Bill. Over $25,000 for your college education.
You and the Navy.
like I said, smart kid.
Full speed ahead.
The Hawks on TBS. Gigi jumping. Jam. Flash. And now. Magic Nova Castaworthy. Monster Jam. The Hawks and TBS this fall.
The young Georgia team playing tight. They're down 2 touchdowns. We talked to Ray Goff yesterday about the youth on this team playing for the first time for some of them here in the Gator Bowl.
I think for some it can be an awful positive for us because there's such a motivating factor when you step on the field from the fan standpoint. The fans are ready and they get you ready to play, and young players need to play with emotions and they need to be able to play above their heads, because right now we're not where we need to be as a football team, and we've got a lot of young players, and that's not to be an excuse, but we have to play with emotions because it's tough for freshmen and sophomores to compete against seniors and juniors. So you got to play with emotions and play over your head.
Georgia with 2 turnovers early in this game, a fumble and an interception, and Florida up by 2 touchdowns. From the 35, Gators ball, first down. Matthews finds Kirkpatrick out to the 45-yard line. Al Jackson, number 2, came up to make the play for the Bulldogs. That's going to be enough for a first down.
See, when you get the running game going, that's an awfully tough pattern to start. By the time you see that it's not a run, the fake comes so late, Kirkpatrick gets the hard inside release, and he's all the way across the field. You're going to have to keep him from getting that hard inside if they're going to prevent that pattern.
Florida ready to play today. We kind of wondered after that 48-7 drubbing of Auburn if Florida would be a little flat, but I guess that's really a dumb question when you're coming into the annual Georgia rivalry at the Gator Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think so, though, Bob. I think that's a young group of guys. I mean, you know, they're 21, 20 years old, and, you know, there's no telling where they're going to be emotionally. And they did have a resounding, resounding is an understatement, 48-7 over Auburn. That was just almost miraculous. They played perfect football.
Second down 8 from the 47. Florida fumbled on their first possession down inside the 20, but Georgia fumbled it right back to them. Shane Matthews with that little play fake again, coming right back to Kirkpatrick again. Tim, that looked like almost the identical play. Very similar, the play fake, the pass to the tight end.
Well, what was different was the call by the defense coordinator, Richard Bell. They're coming after him this time. They're dinging it inside, and Andre Washington is a true freshman, and that's your guy, Andre. You got to stick with him. You got to shut him down. Make Shane Matthews throw the ball outside. And I think Georgia matches up pretty well outside.
Kirkpatrick came into the game with 34, has 37 catches now after 3 receptions today. This is first down inside Georgia territory. Florida looking unstoppable early. McClendon to the 29-yard line. Another Gator first down. Just an explosion here by the Gators in the first quarter.
And you know who's doing a great job here at Florida? It's Rich McGeorge, the offensive line coach. He's really put this line together. Look at McClendon. He comes out of there now. You see him double up on the football, making sure he doesn't fumble it. As Spurrier looks on, this is how you like to see it develop. They're throwing the ball, they're running the football, and you can't ask for more.
First down. Here's McClendon left side. Cuts against the grain to the 20-yard line. Very close to another Gator first down. Chris Wilson. You notice that we're calling the name of defensive backs making most of the tackles for the Bulldogs. Nobody up front's done anything yet. Willie Jennings has been on one tackle, but Mike Steele, Eric Coney, Torrey Evans, Mo Lewis hadn't made a tackle yet, so they're getting deep into that secondary. This is near a first down. It's second and less than one. Matthews with the checkoff. Georgia's coming after it. He got rid of it. He had to throw it too quickly. The hot man was Ernie Mills. The good quarterback pressure came from number 9, Mike Jones of Georgia. Good read by Shane. He saw it coming.
He did see it coming, and he got to the right route. That route takes a little bit longer to throw, that post corner route, and it was a route they used successfully against Auburn. And Mills has really come along as a receiver. You know, we saw him as a track man early in his career, and he just ran pretty much straight up and down and straight ahead. But he's moving like he knows what he's doing now.
Barber's in motion on third down and just inches. McClendon gets it down to about the 17-yard line. First down, Florida.
So second and short, you can get greedy. Shane Matthews' dad is also a high school coach at Pascagoula, and so he's got a football tradition, and he's got a real good sense and real good instinct on the field. And Spurrier really got him up to speed early. I mean, he only had 2 snaps coming into the season, and he started off in his first game throwing hitting 20 out of 29 for 300 yards.
They spot the ball at the 18. Shane Matthews with a 5-step drop. Penalty marker at the 4. Carswell ran into Kirkpatrick. That'll be pass interference and a Gator first down.
But a defensive back would call this as inconsequential contact. The ball thrown, there's no doubt that there's contact early as Kirkpatrick breaks to the outside. Ball well thrown. Carswell had the outside position, just couldn't hang on to it. And Kirk is telling on him.
Al Ford, the official, is still having problems with his microphone, but it's pass interference. It's first down. And it's at the 2.5-yard line, which is all we really need to know about it. Keller and Kirkpatrick, double tight ends in for the Gators. They're up 2 touchdowns and about to make it a 21-point lead. McClendon, not on that carry. He stopped shy of the goal line. McClendon's carried 10 times in this ballgame already, the only back for Florida to have carried the ball. We haven't even seen their really tremendous freshman yet, Eric Rhett. He'll be in there a little later.
What do you have, 142 yards last week? Both these fellas have made each other better. I think the competition at that particular position has increased the intensity of both those runners.
Second down goal. McClendon denied the goal line again. So it'll be third down and goal. George Wynn came up.
Here comes Eric Rhett.
We're just talking about him, number 33.
They're working on the right side here behind Bromley and Rao. Great explosion. John Allen, young linebacker who's had some knee problems throughout his career, comes over the top and stops it.
Nose of the ball just an inch away from the goal line. I believe Matthews held on. let's wait for a moment. Georgia ball. Matthews had it, but Georgia ripped it loose and stopped the Gators from taking a prohibitive 21-0 lead. Mike Jones got the ball, and he stole it from Matthews. That's a tremendously big play because Ray Goff's youngsters going down 21-0 this early could be a backbreaker.
Now school's out at that point. Matthews never has control of the ball. It looks like he has got it covered there, kind of sweeps out, and Jones comes in and rips it away.
But now the Bulldogs have got to try to get it out of their own end zone. They go long. It's complete to Maxwell to the 25-yard line. Kevin Maxwell with a grab.
Florida in a two-deep zone here. Maxwell clears Richard Fain, and before Will White can get there, Talley puts some heat on the ball and drops it in there. Against Auburn, Will White took at one time too flat an angle on the ball. They threw one over the top, and if Maxwell could have stayed in bounds there, it would have been the same thing. Could have gone the distance.
They hooked up with Maxwell against Vanderbilt for a 93-yarder. So almost had it again, as you said. First and 10 at the 25. Here's the pitch to the right side to the freshman Garrison Hurst. He broke tackles. Out to the 33-yard line goes Garrison Hurst. And finally, the Bulldog fans at the Gator Bowl have a little something to cheer about.
You know, and the Bulldogs are waking up here a little bit. Great penetration by James Spear. Turns it in right now. But there's nobody there to fill it. Fain, he scooted by Fain and Jerry Odoms, and a good job of running by the young freshman, Garrison Hurst.
Natural turf. You know, Florida's playing on natural turf now at Florida Field, and Steve Spurrier said that would help because they always had to make that artificial to natural adjustment, but not this year. Hastings made a miss, got a little bit where there was nothing. That's that true freshman from Morrow, Georgia. You see his incredible talent. And it's a Georgia first down. And you can thank Hastings' move because there was no blocking out there, and the Florida defense was right in his face.
Well, you know, Huey Richardson just played it well. He stayed home. He didn't get faked out by the reverse. But that young rascal is going to make a lot of people miss. Andre Hastings, he was a USA Today Player of the Year in high school last year, and just maybe the most talented player ever to be recruited by Georgia.
Georgia first down from their own 36. Larry Ware goes in motion. Talley goes under pressure. It's complete to the tight end, Chris Broom. Big Georgia gainer. All the way to the 39 of Florida. 25 yards for Chris Broom, the senior.
Odom retreating to his hook area. Broom held out, blocked for a second, then checked down. Nobody there, nobody picking him up. Good call, good execution, and a big play. Georgia now moving the football, starting to gain some confidence.
Trailing 14-0, but coming back late here in the first quarter. Garrison Hurst gets to about the 38 and no further as Jerry Odom, who had been helped off the field earlier, shaken up, is back in there. The strong side linebacker for the Gators, number 57.
You know, they're knocking him around on the line of scrimmage, but that time Kevin Maxwell and Andre Hastings both downfield chopping Florida defensive backs. They're not going to lay down here, Bob. I mean, they could have gone in the tank 14-0. Whoop, this one's over. Let's slide into the tank. But they're fighting back. They're punching back.
Florida has outscored opponents 76-19 in the first quarter. They're just doing it again. Second down 8. Talley. Wanted to go deep, but there's a penalty marker down there. Sean Hummings was bumped by Del Spear. Spears, a sophomore out of Miami, number 4.
One of the things they've been working with Greg Talley on is actually making the right choice. That time the man in the flat was wide open. Will White had not got there in time, and Del Spear was all over the wide receiver. Fortunately, he jammed him just as the ball was thrown.
Defensive pass interference. It's either 15 yards or at the spot. Whichever one is short, it'll be first down.
Del Spear's in perfect position. Watch this now. And Sean Hummings. Del Spears in perfect position. He gets the jam. You can do that, but the ball is in the air. That was the problem.
On first down 10. Hurst in motion. Talley's rolling right to throw. Good coverage down there, and Talley threw it away. Let's go to our studios in Atlanta and Ernie Johnson.
Thank you, Bob Neal. Maryland playing at number 21 Penn State. Scott Zolak wants to throw here for Maryland, but Leonard Humphreys of Penn State comes up with the interception. He's got room to run on the far sideline. Zolak will get a hand on him. Can he keep his feet down the sidelines? Yes, he can. 72 yards for Leonard Humphreys in Penn State with a 7-0 first quarter lead. Now, back to the Gator Bowl.
Second down 10 at the 23-yard line. Talley with that short drop. Quick toss. Wide open. Hastings. Touchdown, Georgia. Hastings a little slow to get up. He was hit hard down there on the goal line. They're looking at him in the end zone. He's that great true freshman wide receiver for Georgia. He made that happen. This was a 93-yard drive. Remember, Georgia got the fumble as Florida was about to go in to make it 21-0. Talk about a turnaround. And here's Hastings being helped off the field. Let's hope that young man's all right. Georgia already lost their tremendous receiver Arthur Marshall in the LSU game, the first one of the season. Looks like a leg injury of some sort for Hastings.
Let's hope it's just a sting. Well, sometimes you get turned around like that, and you put a little weight on it, and it starts to come back. You start feeling better.
Casey, the left-footed kicker for Georgia, the senior, son of coach, makes it 14-7 Florida. What a turnaround. We'll be right back to the Gator Bowl in a moment.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
We love to fly on the shores.
They are arriving now, everywhere. Our newest kinds of quality with new kinds of values. Cash rebates, option package discounts, low financing rates, leasing programs. Come see them now at Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, and GMC truck dealers. During the GM offer of quality, a new kind of quality at a new level of value.
Andre Hastings' second touchdown grab of the year makes it 14-7. A tremendous effort after the catch, and then the injury.
Bob, they go with the same pattern. The last time was picked off by Polk for a touchdown. This time he hits the Andre Hastings, knifing to the inside. Hastings makes Will White miss. Fain comes over the top and hits him while somebody had a hold of his knee, and let's just hope that wasn't too serious there.
Duncan and Harrison Houston are back. Monty Duncan's 81. Houston is 84 for Florida. Casey with the kickoff. See how hard the wind's blowing down there. It's blowing into the face of Georgia. Be tough to kick this one into the end zone. It's coming down to Monty Groh at the 15-yard line. Groh out across the 20 to the 26. All three scores in this game have come after turnovers. We said turnovers would play a role. We had no idea a bigger role early. Only 50 seconds to go first quarter.
Georgia's got to feel good about the way that Greg Talley directed that drive. Threw the ball on the money. He had to pinpoint those passes, and he did. Got a break on the interference call. It was a good call, but it was still a break for Georgia, and they capitalized on it.
So the Georgia people looking into Andre Hastings and his injury. We'll report as soon as we hear something. Craig Sager, our sideline reporter today, will be checking on that for us. Shane Matthews on the screen to Willie McClendon. Out to the 37-yard line, Mike Jones with the stop, along with Bryant Gant, number 88. 7 plays, 96 yards. Time of possession, 2 minutes, 1 second. Georgia about to go down 21-0 with that 96-yard drive.
And against Florida, your drives aren't going to be real long if you're successful, because they are a gambling defense. They're a penetrating defense, and you're going to get some big plays as Willie McClendon comes to the sideline.
He's shaken up a bit. Eric Rhett goes in at the tailback spot for Florida. Barber in motion. Play fake to Rhett. Matthews, he's in trouble. Throws it as he's hit, and McNabb is down behind the line of scrimmage at the 35. Eric Coney making the stop. Quarterback pressure came from 58. That another freshman, Mitch Davis.
Well, I predict that before too long, they're going to try to get it to Ernie Mills over the top. Now, Ernie Mills has been flirting with the edge of that defense all day.
Operator. Yeah. Operator. Ooh, yeah. No one does it like the bull.
Decades before women fought for their role in the workplace or their right to vote, Mutual of New York sold the nation's first life insurance policy to a woman. It's that kind of innovative thinking that's provided 146 years of uninterrupted dividends for the present and annuities and pensions for the future of a new generation of mothers, daughters, and sisters, and their fathers, sons, and brothers.
Mutual of New York. Money for life.
Portions of today's game are brought to you by True Value. Make True Value your store of first choice. And by Royal Caribbean, the official cruise line of Turner Sports.
Ready to begin the second quarter. Florida leading 14-7. Let's go to Craig Sager on the sideline.
Well, thank you, Bob. After a visit to the doctor, Andre Hastings has been given the okay to go back into the game. It's a left ankle sprain. Nothing serious. His ankle is being retaped. He'll put on more support, put the shoe back on, and he's ready to go back. Bob?
Exactly why we brought you with us, Craig, to give us that kind of updated information. That's good news for the Bulldog fans. Hastings, the man who caught the touchdown pass. And now Florida on the move, second down 11 from the 36-yard line. Matthews. Almost picked off by Mike Jones. Matthews missed it and intended to target Eric Rhett. Here's the statistical story for the first quarter.
Florida moved the ball at will in the first quarter. They had a good combination between the run and the pass. They had some things going. Georgia came up with a couple of big turnovers. That's what's kept them close in this game so far. Georgia had that long drive, 96-yarder at the end of the quarter.
Who would have guessed Georgia would have more passing yardage than Florida after one quarter? Third down 11 now. Bulldogs with a defensive opportunity here. Excellent protection. Big grab. They'll spot him down at the 34. Chris Wilson made the stop, if you can call it that. A 30-yard gain for Kirkpatrick.
Okay, here we go. Let's look at it here. You're going to see man-to-man underneath by these 5 guys here. These folks are too deep. They're supposed to help anything thrown down the field. Kirkpatrick is going to come down here. He'll separate himself from Simmons, and he's able to stick it in. Matthews can stick it in over the top before Wilson can get there. And Carswell has got to not get as deep.
Tremendous velocity on that pass from sophomore Matthews. Penalty markers are down. The 25-second clock was getting right down near 0.
As you saw in that last replay, Bob, Wilson got to that.
Before the ball was snapped, the 25-second clock expired, 5 yards, still be first and 15.
Got to that pass, got to Kirkpatrick from his weak side position before Carswell, who was on the strong side, got there. He can't be quite that deep, and they need to take something out of Mills coming off the line, even if they are man-to-man underneath.
First down, 15 Gators now. They move the ball back to the 40-yard line. Opening moments of the second quarter, 14-7, Florida leading. Shane Matthews with time again, and he once again goes to his money man. To the 22-yard line, Kirkpatrick. And Kirkpatrick has 5 catches on the day.
See it again. Once again, you're man-to-man underneath, 2 deep behind it. Mo Lewis trying to run with Kirkpatrick. And Kirkpatrick is as good a receiving tight end as Steve Spurrier has ever coached, according to him. And he's as good as we've seen in a long time. Reminds me a lot of that 88 of Jim Mandich, a former Dolphin and Pittsburgh Steeler. Just good body movement and great instinct and knowledge of where he's trying to go.
On first down, 10 from the 22. Here's the draw play to Rhett. He gets back to the 20. If Kirkpatrick catches 2 more, he will set the record for most receptions in the season by a Florida tight end. 2 more catches today.
Well, until this year, they hadn't had any tight end. His touchdown pass against Oklahoma State was the first touchdown pass by a tight end at Florida in 36 games. I mean, that position disappeared.
So I guess he breaks the record for tight ends and, say, offensive tackles, too. Right?
And he's already got more yards this year than he had in his career.
Second down, 8. Rhett goes in motion off the backfield. Georgia, 3-man rush. They toss it over the middle to McNabb. McNabb dives forward to about the 13-yard line, close to the first down. Mitch Davis and Torrey Evans in on the play for the Georgia Bulldogs. 13 minutes to go in the first half. Florida driving again.
One of the problems that you have as a coach when you've got such a young team is that you can't do many things. You have to try to do a few things so people don't make mental errors. And there's some things that Richard Bell would like to put in here and use at this time. They just can't get in it. They just have a group of young guys out there.
Third down, 1. Rhett gets the first down inside the 10. The last time Florida got inside the 5, they fumbled, and Georgia drove it 96 yards back down the field to make it a 14-7 game.
Steve Spurrier calling the plays from the sideline. Just put it. Yeah. Steve, of course, loves to play golf, and he calls them for the sidelines. We asked him before if he could see well enough down from the sidelines to call plays, and he said, well, he got a lot of practice watching the game from the sideline during his professional career, so does a great job.
Florida's missed some putts today. You see the 2 turnovers. Here's Rhett on the right side. Staying with golf, he drives to the 6-yard line.
And that's how they stuck it in against Auburn a couple of times, going to that right side. And they like Tony Rowell. He's number 56. He has just become a starter in the last couple of games. He used to be a defensive lineman, and he kind of earned a starting berth there and worked his way into it. And he's got that defensive line mentality, and he gets the rest of those guys going.
How's that again?
I don't know. I'll work on that.
We got some barkers out here in this crowd today. You can bet that. From the state to the north. 14-7 Florida. This is second down and goal from the 6. The draw play to McNabb. He is hit at the 6 and pushed back. The Georgia defense has been tough down inside the 10. Eric Coney leading the way there. He's number 93, 6'4", 225, a junior from Atlanta. They move the ball back to the 7. So now we've got a big third down defensive series here for the Bulldogs.
Richard Bell, the defensive coordinator here at Georgia, former head coach at South Carolina, shouting some instructions to his corners.
Rhett in motion. Shane Matthews with some time now, flushed from the pocket into the end zone and out of the end zone. Quarterback pressure came from Dwayne Simmons, 42 up the middle, good coverage in the end zone, and Florida's going to have to send on Arden Chizevsky, their field goal kicker, as Georgia's defense in 2 drives in a row has toughened up inside the 10-yard line. You see Hastings trying to walk off that ankle injury.
And that time Chris Wilson was all over Kirkpatrick. Nice job of coverage all the way across the board by the Georgia secondary. Forced Matthews to toss it away.
23-yard field goal attempt is good. And Florida jumps to a 10-point lead, 17-7. 10:44 to go in the first half.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We love to fly.
He's the kid.
And it shows.
The bigger than ever, better than ever 1991 Chevy S10 Blazer 4-door.
We wanted a motel, but Dad said camping's a thing. And my brother came along. Yuck.
Now America's best loved sport utility vehicle gives you 25% more cargo room and 100% more doors.
But so did my best friend Linda.
4-door S10 Blazer. Open one up and see why more people are winning with
The heartbeat of America.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
Georgia's young head coach Ray Goff had perhaps the game of his career back in 1976 in this rivalry. The Dogs were down 27-13 at the half, came back for the victory. Goff ran for 3 TDs, passed for 2 others. Georgia wins at 42-27 under Ray Goff, now coaching the Bulldogs.
They asked, I was down there and somebody's talking about Ray about this wind. Did it used to bother him as a quarterback? He said, well, I don't know. We never threw it.
There you go. He ran for 3 and threw for 2. Not your normal quarterback stats. Here's the Florida kickoff. Hurst is going to take it at the 4 and fall down. Unbelievable. That's going to put the Bulldogs in a deep hole as the freshman fell down on this turf. This is a beautiful turf here at the Gator Bowl, but it is loose as we walked on it yesterday.
And Bob, there were tornado warnings all last night here, and you could see his foot give way. It rained hard. And we were out in the coach, and you can just hear it coming down. I was out there with the kids. So it's wet down there.
At the 6-yard line against the nation's number 2 ranked defensive unit. Tough chore, but remember Georgia drove it 96 yards on the last possession. Talley wanted to pull the Gators off sides. Throws the interception. Unbelievable. Richard Fain makes the pickoff at the 7-yard line. What a pass to throw in that situation.
I'll be honest with you. I think you see Jim Bates congratulating Fain. I think he's trying to get this out of bounds. There's no way he should try to throw this in there. I think he's trying to gun it out of bounds. Didn't get enough on it. Look at Fain go up in the air. That ball's into the stands. Great catch. Talley's just trying to throw that thing away. He saw Fain there. There it is, Richard Fain. Jim Thorpe, finalist, and as one of the top defensive backs in the country.
First down goal from the 7. McClendon's going to go to the left side. Here comes Simmons to roll him out of bounds. Right about the 6.5. 5 tackles for Dwayne Simmons. He came up big here today. The 6-foot-tall junior from Lincolnton.
He's a junior college transfer from Northeast Oklahoma A&M, and he's got the ability to be a real good linebacker. He's not as big as you'd like at 205, but you know, good speed, good lateral movement. He plays pass defense well. And Spurrier changed his mind.
Florida's going to get a timeout. Steve's going to talk it over. They know that the Bulldog defense has been tough down here previously. Stopped them last time and put them into a field goal situation and recovered a fumble earlier. We'll be right back.
Think about it. There are thousands of building products in there. So which do you ask for? Just ask for Georgia Pacific. Even if you forget that our Southern Gold plywood is double sanded for smoothness. Even if steam cured and solid lineal are Greek to you. Just remember that every GP product has superior performance built in. So if ceramic-coated granules or Acraglass top coat seem impossible to remember, just ask for Georgia Pacific. That's all you need to know.
160 horses. That's what Chevy S10 packs into the biggest V6 engine ever put in a compact pickup. Enough power to help switch more truck owners to Chevy last year than to any other truck. The move to Chevy is becoming a stampede. More people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
Portions of today's game are brought to you by Delta Airlines. We love to fly and it shows. And by Kentucky Fried Chicken. Taste our best at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
364 days a year, these are just normal people. But today, they're Gator and Bulldog fans.
Look like they're working through some serious problems.
Oh my, outside the Gator Bowl. They used to call this the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Fortunately, the cocktail part has diminished. Now it's just the world's largest outdoor party. Second down, goal from the 7 for the Gators after the interception by Fain. Matthews. Going on the run to Mills. Touchdown on the extra effort. George Wynn had a hold of him, and Mills muscled it into the end zone.
Wynn did a great job even coming back to help there. As you said, Mills just muscled his way in. And it's been the evolution of a wide receiver. He is now running his routes not like a track man anymore. And his instincts are carrying him like a football player, not like a guy that's running on a cinder.
Point after. Krzyzewski hits it. It is 24-7 with 10:14 to go in the first half of play. And the question for Georgia is, will we see freshman quarterback Joe Dupree soon?
Tonight, they fought for honor and glory.
Take cover!
They fought for freedom and liberty.
Good shooting, Smokey!
They fought so that others could live to fight another day.
Expendable. You know what that means.
John Wayne.
Fire free! Let's drag our tails out of here!
They were expendable. Tonight at 8:05 Eastern on TBS.
At AutoZone, we put a lot of miles on our rigs, so we know the importance of taking care of an engine. That's why we offer the best parts and products for a good, honest price every day of the week. Like Exxon Superfloor Mobile Supermotor Oil, your choice, 79 cents a quart every day. At AutoZone, we help people who take care of their cars with our best parts and our lowest prices every day, so you never have to wait for a sale.
Georgia turnovers have led to all 3 of the Florida touchdowns.
And there you see Ernie Mills right here. Mike Jones in the coverage. If it's man-to-man, he should try to wall him off, keep him out of there. If it's zone, he should try to jam him and then drift outside. But Mills runs the pattern out here, and the pass comes from Matthews, and it's a touchdown for the Gators. You see contact, good contact. Now drift outside. Wynn looks back into the backfield. He's there in time. But Mills just drives his way through into the end zone. Just an excellent effort here. Watch Mills. Hey, you're supposed to be a track guy, Ernie. Power track. There you go.
Nice effort by Ernie Mills. 24-7 Florida. Wynn causing problem with that kickoff. Chad Wilson will touch it down in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. So Florida with an effective scoring drive. Only 7 yards, 2 plays, 16 seconds after the Richard Fain interception off a pass that we think Talley was trying to throw out of bounds. And now Joe Dupree, the true freshman, 6'2", 190 out of Macon, Georgia, who they hope will be the quarterback of the future for the Bulldogs, will come in here to get some playing time. Quick feet, very mobile, strong arm, a lot of talent. first attempt. He's thrown for a loss by Tim Pauk, who also has a lot of talent.
Mobile, quick feet,
and
except
meaner.
for 50 more pounds. Joe Dupree. And they've got Talley and they've got Preston Jones at Georgia, but they think that this is the man that can do it for them. Joe Dupree, a true freshman, as Bob mentioned, out of South Macon High School. 3 for 8 so far this year. Hasn't had much playing time, but this is a guy of the future for him.
Fakes the pass, still looking, under trouble. Tried to break away and couldn't, down at the 11. Mark Murray with the sack, number 54. This Gator defense, I mean, between Alabama and Florida, 2 of the best defenses in the country.
Watch Murray work, too. Gets up in the air, a little pirouette. Now he's coming after him. Now we're serious. It's enough of the preliminaries. Drags him to the ground, and Murray's been an outside linebacker, an inside linebacker, a defensive tackle, and a guy I think that can play next year. He's a senior, and I think he's got a shot in the NFL.
Dupree hit as he throws it. It's an incomplete pass. His arm was going forward. You can't fault the young Joe Dupree on this. This Gator defense is just chewing up the Bulldog offensive line.
And that time, Mark Murray was just a quick arm over around Rosenberg and a beeline for Dupree's back.
They spot it at the 11, and another true freshman, Scott Armstrong, will come in to punt it away to Terrence Barber. Barely got it away. Going to roll out here to about the 49-yard line. Armstrong lucky to even get that punt out of there. It was only a punt of 38 yards.
For over 50 years, Jaguar has built classic motor cars that represent good value for the money. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the 1991 Jaguar XJ6. It has a powerful 4-liter engine, an electronically controlled transmission, and other significant features. So while we haven't lowered our standards, at $39,900, we've made it easier for you to raise yours. Jaguar, a blending of art and machine. For the name of your nearest Jaguar dealer, call toll-free.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better and better. Today's Valvoline is engineered for high performance.
If there was a motor oil out there that was better, it would be in my car.
125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio. Coming up on the Georgia Pacific Halftime Report, we'll run down the day in college football. How will Virginia respond after falling from the nation's top spot? Highlights from Chapel Hill are coming up. And Craig Sager tracks the elusive party animal in Jacksonville. Now back to Bob Neal and Tim Foley in Jacksonville at the Gator Bowl.
Craig Sager's down on the sideline. Craig, I don't think the party animal's that elusive here, do you?
No, I don't, Bob. Any questions about the Gators having a letdown fun? The victory over Auburn have been answered with this 24-7 score. Intensity is the word the coach has been preaching all week. After the interception by Richard Fanny, he went back and said, intensity, intensity. We have to blow them out. Meanwhile, on the other sidelines, Andre Hastings has gone to the locker room. He could return, but who knows, by then it may be too late. Bob?
Steve Spurrier's team has outscored Auburn last week and Georgia this week 62-13 in the first half. Now 49 yards away from the end zone again, leading 24-7, 8:39 to go in the first half. Matthews has another receiver who's open. Down to the 30-yard line goes Trey Everett. Everett started off the year on fire. He had 11 catches in the first 2.5 games, got hurt. Then the last 5 only had 3 before today.
And as we talked to each other, Bob, he looked like the most promising young receiver that they had, and just disappeared after his injury. But that time, you see the ball get there, he turns around and that ball is there 30 yards away. Just excellent timing.
First down at the 29. Eric Rett and Kelvin Randolph are in the backfield. for the Gators. Matthews going to stay in the air. Another completion to Kirkpatrick. He's only one reception away from setting the Florida tight end all-time reception record.
Let's watch Rich McGeorge's offensive line work here for Florida. And, the center of it is number 59, Cal Dixon. He's kind of the quarterback. Hisham Ishmael, number 77, Chris Bromley. Seems like there's been a Bromley at Florida for the last 10 years. There's Cal Dixon, and you know, he was a backup for all three positions as a freshman and then started 11 games last year, and he's been the guy that's holding it all together this year, also from Merritt Island High School.
Second down, 6 from the 25. Matthews now checking off. Carswell doing likewise for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are coming after him anyway. Nobody at home as Matthews threw it away. Ernie Mills was the closest intended receiver. That'll bring up third down.
Well, obviously just the mix-up in signals there. Matthews had him in the blitz. He saw the blitz, and it was one-on-one to the outside. If you have the protection, it's awfully tough as a cornerback to stay with a guy that long.
Third down, 6 from the 25. Matthews has the protection. Now he's flushed from the pocket. Has to throw on the run. It is complete. To the 20-yard line. It'll be short of the first down. George Wynn made the play. Now the Florida people want the Gators to go for it down here. It'll be third down and a long yard.
Okay, let's watch this. This is kind of interesting. Man-to-man. You watch this underneath here. And we got man-to-man coverage here, man here. But he's going to jump inside here, and he's going to get help by this two-deep player. Boom. He's got help on the outside. They're walled up underneath, and they finally flush him out. Here we go.
Fourth down and 1. Georgia stuffs it. Eric Red is stopped. This Georgia defense has played tough today. Now that may sound funny to you, trailing 24-7, but it's been turnovers that have led the way. Mike Jones made the big hit, number 9.
Let's see this, because up front, Georgia's been struggling. Allen, great penetration. Allen is the one that really got in there. John Allen and Dwayne Simmons made the penetration. Steele clogged up the middle. Mike Jones comes in and puts him away. Excellent effort. And you got to really give these Bulldogs credit for hanging on and hanging on. 24-7, they could have gone home.
Here's Dupree on a keeper. He gets about a yard or so, not much more. Ed Robinson with the stop. Now that's what Dupree can give Georgia, a little bit of the option look. Change up a little bit on this high-powered, very aggressive Florida defensive team.
Well, you are definitely the center of the storm if you have the ball against this Gator defense, and if you keep it moving, you're a lot better off. Mobility is a definite advantage if you're playing Florida.
So relative to Georgia's field position today, this is a good starting point for the Bulldogs. Dupree misses that pass attempt to Sean Hummings. He's playing like a freshman, 18-year-old that he is, here in front of 82,000 at the Gator Bowl.
Hummings are glad to have him back. He's been his effectiveness has been diminished due to injuries, but as a senior, he's been kind of a leader in that offense, and they're glad to have him back in the lineup.
Hastings sprained his ankle on a touchdown catch, hasn't been back in there since. They expect he might return to the game, though. Dupree, quick toss, hit nobody. Damon Evans was running downfield, not even looking back at that point when the ball was just skidded out of bounds. So the first two series for Joe Dupree have been highly ineffective, and as you see Ray Goff talking to Damon Evans, it's as though Evans had the problem on that particular pattern. Florida almost got the punt from Scott Armstrong last time. Let's see if the Gators come after it. Terrence Barber, number 1.
Well, it was evidence that Evans did not get the call, didn't have the right play, or just blew an assignment. When you got a freshman quarterback, it's hard to tell.
Better job of protection this time and a better punt. The ball is loose. but Barber fell on it at the 41-yard line. A punt of 38 yards.
A Jaguar is beautiful. It loves the sun and the wind. It knows the luxury and comfort of a snug environment. And its potent V12 power dominated the 24 hours of Daytona and Le Mans this year, finishing first and second. Jaguar, a blending of art and machine. For the name of your nearest Jaguar dealer, call toll-free.
So your little brother's joining us, huh?
He's not so little anymore.
All right, now let's move it.
He's what, 19?
Weight setting, 540, F-14.
Jeff's landing planes?
4-gear lens set.
No. $40 million jets.
Today's Navy. High-tech training that takes you only one way. Full speed ahead.
Primary's off. Good job, guys.
You and the Navy.
Jeff?
See? He's not so little anymore.
Full speed ahead.
We looked at the 1976 Georgia Gator game earlier. Now, in 1977, it was Florida's turn, and this great receiver, Wes Chandler, number 89, the Junkyard Dogs just couldn't stop him. He did it all on the ground. Beautiful reception, scored all 3 Florida touchdowns. Gators were down 17-16 in the fourth quarter, but came back and won it 22-17 behind the great play of Wes Chandler. From the 41, first down Gators, leading 24-7, 5:35 to go in the half. Three-man Georgia rush ineffective. Matthews misses the intended target, Terrence Barber, who dropped it out of bounds.
Well, their rush is going to be ineffective. They just have lost so many people up front. Brewer, Walford, Cole, Douglas, Bell, Cowens, Englesby. You know, they've just lost a lot of people there, and they're playing with folks that are going to be good players in time, but right now they just don't have the experience. They don't have the real mental toughness to compete at this level.
Matthews has thrown that ball a lot already today. And he's going to do it again. Kirkpatrick, what a grab! He was hit hard by Chris Wilson at the point of the reception and held on to it. 19-yard gain, and that'll go in the record books for Kirkpatrick as the most receptions in a season by a Florida tight end.
And this time the linebacker picks him up. He's running underneath. You see John Allen, he tries to get his head around, but at least he forces the ball to be thrown up in the air. Wilson is there, makes a big impact as the ball gets there, but a great concentration by number 88.
41st catch of the year. He had 18 last year. First down 10 from the 39. Georgia coming on this play. And Matthews is going to tuck it in and run it to the 33-yard line. Al Jackson will get the tackle. Well, you'll see Shane Matthews do that about 3 times a year. This is not a running quarterback.
Once again, you got the pattern that was so effective against Auburn. A little short out by the widest receiver. The slot ran a deeper bow out. And that time, Georgia ran with him, covered him. Matthews turned what might have been a sack into a scramble for a gain.
Second down 4 for the Gators at the 33 of Georgia. They're going to give it to Eric Rett. Drives for the first down. Travis Jones makes the stop. You saw a moment ago that stat on Georgia, 0-3 on the road. Ray Goff's only had 2 victories on the road as a head coach with Georgia the last 2 years. One of them called this a road game here in Jacksonville.
Well, in talking to Vince Dooley, you knew it was going to be tough. You knew it was going to have a couple of tough years before some of the young players that this man has been able to recruit really become performers and producers.
In 1949, since Georgia couldn't win one on the road all year. Matthews almost picked off. It was intended for Kirkpatrick, and Wilson was there, but he couldn't hold on to it. Kirkpatrick wanted the call. He's looking at the chat he's having.
Now watch number 88, Kirkpatrick. They're looking for a 2-deep zone here, but they don't get it this time. They get a 3-deep, or at least a robber, and Wilson breaks on the ball, can't make the catch. They like that pattern best against a 2-deep zone. Stretch out those 2 deep people and then get somebody in the corners and Kirkpatrick down the middle.
What was it at the beginning of the game you were saying about Georgia having to clamp down Kirkpatrick?
You have to stop him and I think eliminate the middle of the field if you're playing Georgia. Force them to throw it to the outside.
They've been throwing it to Kirkpatrick right down the middle, has Florida. Here's Shane Matthews to the outside to Barber. Barber's dragged out of bounds at the 19-yard line. It'll be close to a first down.
And that's what they'll come back with. If you bulk it up in the middle, what they're going to come back with is a little short pattern at about 5 yards. You're going to stand a guy at the sideline at 5 yards and put a guy at the sideline at 20 and have your defensive man that's playing that zone make a decision. Do I hang back and prevent the long throw, or do I jump the short throw?
Third down, less than a yard. From the 19. Matthews lobs to the end zone. Incomplete. Caught out of bounds in the end zone on a nice grab by Monty Duncan, but it is an incomplete pass. So it'll not. That was 3rd down and 1. Talk about gambling.
Well, Steve Spurrier is a lot like Bobby Bowden in his desire to go for it. You know, I mean, he'll try to drive the green from 300 yards out. You know, none of the short wedge stuff. And this time you got Monty Duncan at 6'2", jumping against little George Wynn, 5'8". This is a decision that they made in the planning booth there. Great play by Wynn. Shoved him out of bounds.
Georgia stopped Florida on the 4th down try last time. Here's the pitch to Eric Rett. He gets it this time. Tries it on the left side down near the 15. Mike Jones with a tackle. 3:26 to go in the half. Florida driving again, leading 24-7.
And that time, Florida forsaking the right side. They seem to have been very right-handed in short yardage situations, seeking the protection of Bromley and Rowell over there. This time they come back the other way at Ishmael and White, and they get it.
They spotted at the 16, first down, 3 minutes to go now. Shane Matthews has been going to the air regularly. That's his 26th pass attempt of this first half. He's 17 of 26 for nearly 200 yards in the half.
And a good job again by the diminutive George Wynn out there on the corner, whose brother Will plays guard for Georgia. Man-to-man down here, you're not going to get much help, and it's kind of nerve-wracking as a corner, a defensive back, because you know at any time they come after you. If you're in the spotlight, regardless of what happens, you're going to have to make a play.
2nd down, 10. 27th pass attempt about to come up here from Matthews. Nope. He's going to just have to run it out of bounds. He wanted to. Out of bounds at the 15-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down long yardage.
And that time Richard Bell, the defensive coordinator at Georgia, throwing Spurrier a curveball. He played a 3-deep zone backed up there. In most of the patterns that will be called inside the 20, inside the 15, as this is, you're going to get man-to-man coverage, and you got some kind of crossing routes, and you can try to knock somebody off, get somebody picked. That time Bell had a zone called, and the picks didn't work, and Matthews scrambled.
This will be the 50th snap taken offensively by Florida in the first half. About dominating possession of the ball. 3rd down, 9. Matthews all day to throw it. Now they trip him. Who got back there to get him? That was number 95, Donnie Mabe, who went down, put that big paw out there and grabbed him.
Time we get a little bit different look from the Georgia defense. You've got that little short route on the wide side, plus the bow out in the corner. They doubled Mills. Matthews couldn't get it in there. Kirkpatrick couldn't find an opening across the middle, and Matthews had to find the grass.
Krzyzewski tries one from about 35. It's no good. It hit the post.
No good from 35 yards.
The 35-yarder hit the post, and Georgia continues to trail 24-7. Bulldogs defensively have stopped Florida several times today. This could be a tremendous blowout at this point if it were not for that Bulldog defense and a couple of fortunate breaks like hitting the post. Coming up on the Georgia Pacific Halftime Report, Ernie Johnson Jr. will have scores and highlights from around the country. Craig Sager will take a look at the Georgia-Florida partying from yesterday. Here's Dupree in trouble again, throwing on the run. There's a short hop to Shannon Mitchell, another true freshman. Good acting job. Shannon just refused to accept that ball short hopped in there.
This is not the game you want to break in on, Joe. Got a little action against Kentucky, and again, great athletic ability, but this Florida defense that's coordinated by Jim Bates gives you a whole lot of different looks and a boatload of pressure.
Yeah, I have a feeling we could see Talley back in the game again. I think that was the plan of Ray Goff. Hurst goes nowhere to the 5 and no more. He may not have gotten to the original line of scrimmage. Under 2 minutes, and the weather pattern changing down here in Jacksonville. As Tim told you, tornado warnings yesterday and very rough, hard rain and chilly temperatures. 59 at game time, but sky getting blue, and the only clouds in this stadium right now are over the Georgia fans. 3rd down 10. 5 defensive backs in there for the Gators. Short drop. You saw the pressure. And speaking of drop, McCoy is dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Penalty marker is down, though. Wait a minute. Let's see who it's thrown against. Spencer with the coverage. That came after the play, so it's going to be probably a sportsman-like conduct type call here.
You said Jimmy Spencer made that play there, and he was a starter at right corner the last time we covered the Gators, and Del Spear has moved ahead of him, but certainly a more than adequate backup. Jimmy Spencer could start for a lot of teams.
See Al Ford, the man in the white hat, as the referee today. Preliminary indication face mask call coming up here. And a committee meeting to decide on it. Minute 8 to go in the half. 24-7 Florida.
After the play was over, we had a face mask against the offensive team. It'll be 4th down after a half the distance penalty to the goal line.
Just what the Bulldogs needed. And Joe Dupree will go in at halftime and think that he's been caught in a traffic jam in Manhattan or something. He's seen nothing but blue-shirted Gators, and he's been inside the 20 under pressure continually. You see that Georgia's first quarter statistics and the second quarter. -8. Remember, Florida just did a tremendous job defensing Auburn last week.
Well, they're second in the nation. They've defensed a few people, and there's not a lot of folks going to move the ball on them. Tennessee scored a pile of points, and the vast majority of those points came from turnovers and then just good offensive play by Tennessee, who has got one of the most explosive offenses in the country. But if you're going to play against this defense, you got to be able to hold them out. You have to be able to neutralize at least sometimes their pressure. And Goff knows that. But unfortunately, the Georgia team is much different this year than we've ever seen, simply because they're usually good in the ugly positions. They usually got the big linemen and all that. But this year, they're real inexperienced up front, and they're having a hard time controlling the line of scrimmage.
Scott Armstrong looking at a 10-man punt rush in his own end zone. Barber is back at about the 48. Very poor punt. It's going to be short. Comes down about the 37. And is touched down there by Brian Cleveland. But not exactly what Georgia was hoping for. A 26-yard punt off the foot of the freshman punter. 58 seconds to go in the half, and Florida has 2 timeouts left. They've got plenty of time to get it down here for a field goal attempt again, or even a touchdown.
Let's go Gators! Let's go Gators! Last time! Let's go Gators!
They got a mistake in the defense here in the secondary for Georgia.
See if Shane Matthews finds it. He finds Eric Rett. Simmons with his 7th tackle of the day. Clock running down. See it in the lower right of your screen. That's time remaining in the half.
That time there was a little confusion in the Georgia secondary. There's nobody on Ernie Mills, and he ran downfield waving his hands. Those things happen.
On 2nd down 4. At the 19-yard line, Trey Everett went down to make the grab. Let's see if they say he caught it or not. It was close. They say yes, 1st down, Florida. Ray Goff disagrees. Don't know if we'll have a chance to see that or not. Because this isn't the NFL, they don't have a replay for the officials to look at anyway.
And we're in the hurry-up offense.
Hurry up and call timeout to come over to the sideline. Shane Matthews will chat with his head coach. Only 17 seconds remaining in the half. So Ray Goff disagreed with that reception. I don't know if he caught it or not. It could have been a short hop or could have been a reception.
Trey Everett, the outside receiver, is going to come down and curl, and Matthews throws it behind him a little bit, and it's hard to see from that angle. I get my glasses on.
Your new specs.
Throw that again.
Let's see that again.
Let's see it through the bifocal frame here.
It looked like he might have caught it. Now, that's certainly what the officials ruled, and they're doing a pretty good job at making those choices.
And as Bobby Gaston always tells us, they're right, whether they're right or not.
The NBA moves on our sister station TNT. Tuesday night, Mr. Robinson takes his neighborhood. And you take your neighborhood to the Bay Area, where the San Antonio Spurs meet Chris Mullin and the Golden State Warriors. Chris Mullin had a big game against the Atlanta Hawks just last night. And, of course, David Robinson is playing like a house of fire. A lot of people think this may be a year for San Antonio to win it out west. Lakers suffering. That'll be a good game. I think I'll go.
Sound like fun. I heard the guy that's doing it.
I think I'll go on.
Melodious voice and very informative, entertaining.
I think I'll go out there with him.
Certainly well dressed.
Doug Collins. 1st down 10 from the 19. It's Kirkpatrick to the 13. No, that's Greg Keller. Kirkpatrick's probably tired. Clock running down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They don't get timeout called. Can you believe that? Well, Shane Matthews won't be happy with it, and neither is Steve Spurrier. He's talking to Shane. You saw him took a verbal poke at him there as he left the field. Well, at the halftime, Florida leads at 24-7. Georgia keeps hanging on in there. This is the 5th time in recent years Tim and I have had the privilege of calling this great rivalry. Let's go back 6 years ago today for our Citgo history feature. The 63rd meeting of the Georgia-Florida rivalry looked to be a close one on paper, with each team nationally ranked and only one loss. With Florida leading late in the 3rd quarter, the emotion of this game could be summed up in 3 words: goal line stand. 1st and goal, Andre Smith is stopped cold going up the middle by Florida's Keith Williams. The Gators had dominated up to this point, but the Bulldog offense had come alive. On 2nd and goal, Cleveland Gary tries going over the top, and again the Gators hold. It had been 7 long years since Florida had defeated one of Vince Dooley's teams, and the sweet smell of victory was close. Now it was 3rd and goal.
Mangrum into the backfield, down at the 3. Alonzo Johnson with the play. He's the man that replaced Wilbur Marshall. They're going for it. 4th down goal from the 3. John Jackson doesn't get in. Make it Andre Smith. He does not get in. Number 35 Smith doesn't get in.
The Bulldogs would not get on the scoreboard, and the Florida celebration was on.
The weather around here can get messy, so people protect their homes with Georgia Pacific Building Products. Our hardboard siding puts the toughest possible protection between a house and a downpour. And GP Summit Roofing can handle 30 years of weather guaranteed, from siding and roofing to molding and doors. Every GP product has superior performance built in. So when you're shopping for building materials, Ask for GP. That's all you need to know.
Some people see shaving as something you do for 3 minutes a day. At Braun, we see it as something you do for a lifetime, and we think you should make the best of it. The Braun Shaver, with its 3 shaving positions. Designed for those who choose to make a virtue out of necessity. Braun, the world's #1 selling foil shaver.
Working around the house, you can use a couple of sharp helpers, like the Master Mechanic Knife and Scraper Set from True Value Hardware Stores. It includes a retractable utility knife with 2 blades and a razor scraper for removing excess paint or decals. In November, get the Master Mechanic Knife and Scraper Set for just $229 while supplies last at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers.
Oh, the unexpected pleasures of clean gas heat. Heat so warm, so comfortable, you can go barefoot even in the dead of winter. We call this barefoot comfort. You'll call it bliss. For home heating, for cooking, or hot water, choose gas. If you're beyond natural gas service, use propane.
The Georgia Pacific Halftime Report is brought to you by Georgia Pacific Building Products with superior performance built in.
In that border war in Jacksonville, Florida, a heavy favorite leading Georgia 24-7. Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio with the Georgia Pacific Halftime Report. Only one SEC team has the day off. Ole Miss, bracing for a date with Tennessee next week, puts its conference title hopes on hold for the afternoon. On the schedule today, you see Georgia trailing 24-7. Vanderbilt and Kentucky are tied up in the first. Auburn and Southern Miss have just kicked it off. Later, it's number 10 Tennessee hosting number 1 Notre Dame, LSU at Alabama, and Mississippi State traveling to Memphis State. Around the nation today, Virginia knocked from its number 1 perch a week ago, knocked from the top of the ACC heap. On the road at Chapel Hill, taking on North Carolina today, and there was an NCAA record at Kenan Stadium, and it came from Virginia's Herman Moore. He catches the Sean Moore touchdown pass from 13 yards. That's a touchdown catch in 9 consecutive regular season games in the same season, and that is a record. Those two would hook up again later. This one's a 42-yarder down there inside the Tar Heel 5-yard line, setting up another Virginia touchdown. It comes from number 33, Nicky Fisher, around that left side. He'll get in there from 2 yards away, and a 14-3 Virginia lead. Cavaliers were just getting warmed up, too. Sean Moore, the Heisman hopeful, 42 yards here. He's got Terry Kirby in his sights, and Virginia has a 21-3 lead at the half. Right now, they are in the 3rd period, and that remains the advantage for the Cavaliers, 21-3 over the Tar Heels. Now, Georgia Tech Giant Killers last week struggling today. They're at the half, playing at home, and tied scoreless with Virginia Tech. Big one in the Big Ten. Iowa trying to make way to the Rose Bowl, leading at the half 17-14 over Ohio State. It's Michigan, ranked number 19, 12-3 over Illinois. They are in the 3rd period. Maryland playing at Penn State today. Scott Zolak of the Terps wants to throw. Leonard Humphreys wants to go the other way for the Nittany Lions, and that he does. 72 yards for the Nittany Lion touchdown. Penn State out to a 7-0 lead. Now, Maryland has only beaten these guys once in 33 tries, but they do tie the game later in the first. Zolak to Barry Johnson to make it a 7-7 game. Right now, the Terps hanging tough with them. Penn State and Maryland all tied up 10 apiece there at the half. In the 3rd period, Temple leads Pittsburgh 7-6. They've had a bench-clearing brawl of 10 minutes in that one. At the half, West Virginia a 7-3 lead over Rutgers. Air Force is shutting out Army. They are at the half, 9-0. In the first, Tulane has a 7-3 lead over Syracuse. South Carolina and Southern Illinois knotted up at 7 in the first. NC State is shutting out Duke, 16-0 in the 2nd period. In the Southwest Conference, Arkansas playing at Baylor. Baylor's Steve Needham going to go long to Melvin Bonner. He hooks up with him for the score here, and that erased a 3-0 Arkansas lead. Baylor on top in the 2nd period. That score, 7-3 Bears over the Razorbacks. And Wisconsin and Indiana, 7-0. Indiana with the lead. They are in the 2nd quarter. And coming up on the Georgia Pacific Halftime Report, we'll go back to Jacksonville and Craig Sager with the story of the off-the-field happenings that lend so much atmosphere to the Georgia-Florida rivalry.
Burkina Faso in West Central Africa is the 5th poorest nation in the world. 9 million inhabitants live in abject poverty, but a small group of University of Georgia graduates like Ame Nianogo search for new food sources in a country living on the brink of starvation. Their work gives Burkina Faso hope of a healthy economy and a better life for her people. The University of Georgia preparing our students for the challenges of a world.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and 1 die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die-hard. More power when you need it most.
This year, IndyCar racing was dominated by one man, Al Unser Jr., 1990 IndyCar champion.
If a driver ever told you, no, I don't get scared, I'm not scared, he's lying to you. The technology that goes into the IndyCar is second to none. Over half the field at Indy is using Valvoline. If there was a motor oil out there that was better, it would be in my car.
People who know use Valvoline.
And what's the #1 thing you like about the South?
The food?
It's my home.
My mama.
Now that's hard. And what's your #1 headache powder?
Why, goodies, of course.
It's not without reason. People have made goodies #1.
Goodies.
Because it combines the 2 pain relievers that doctors recommend most.
Goodies.
And it's one of the few things most of us can agree upon.
Now that's easy. Goodies.
The South's #1 headache powder.
Die-Hard, America's most trusted replacement battery. Its breakthrough design gives you more power and more confidence from the start. Sears Die-Hard, more power when you need it most.
And welcome back to the Georgia Pacific Halftime Report. The Dogs and Gators have staged some pretty fair SEC battles over the years, but football is only one part of the weekend in Jacksonville. Craig Sager fills us in on the other part as we head back down to Jacksonville. Craig?
Well, thank you, Ernie. Ray Goff and Steve Spurrier are more interested in the weight of the line, the speed of the runners, and the accuracy of the quarterback than they are in the water line, tacking position, or sail area. But no matter the endeavor, these two schools are always trying to get the best of each other. Although it is not the sea, but the turf that will be the stage for the annual showdown in this rivalry, boosters from the two schools set sail on the St. Johns River.
I think if we had to pick, I think Florida has a few more sailors.
But challenging the American boat was the Fazizi from Soviet Georgia, the sailing capital of that country. And Georgia fans everywhere speak the same language.
Georgian commons bulldog, yes? And who is bull? Yeah, yes.
But the dog's bark could be bigger than its bite.
I hope we keep the score down, to make it a good game so that the Georgia people will come back.
Great to be a Gator.
Although the Fazizi was first to the landing, the score was far from settled.
Like a boxer, you go back in the ring and you still throw the punches.
Dog, Tim!
Forget about the ranting and raving. Only one way to settle this dispute, and a unique one at that.
Oh, thank you.
In the 9th race at the Orange Park Kennel Club, 4 dogs donned in Gator attire, with a quartet decked out in red and black. A crowd like the Gator Bowl evenly divided between Georgia fans and Florida fans. I'm going with the Bulldogs. For after all, a Bulldog may not be able to outrun a Greyhound or a Whippet, but come on, did you ever hear of a Gator that could run faster than a rabbit?
Now on top, it's the Bulldogs. Here comes the 6 ML Hammer. It's 6-2 as they round the turn. That's Name the Date and ML Hammer. Who's it going to be, the Gators or the Bulldogs? It's 6-2 down the wire. It's tight to the light.
Money can buy a dog, but not the tail that wags it. And on this night, the top dog was from Georgia, and so were the next 2. No way a Gator could touch ML Hammer. Well, it was hammer time last night. The top dog, underdog today, and before it's over, maybe a whip pup. 24-7 the score. Florida winning. We talked to Vince Dooley before the game. With us now, Bill Arnsparger, athletic director of Florida. Awfully impressive with the Gators today.
Well, it was. It could have been, it could be a little bit better, but we had some turnovers and then a couple of missed opportunities, and that's really been the first half, I think, turnovers and touchdowns.
Throughout your coaching career, you're known as a defensive genius. After what happened last week against Auburn and now against Georgia, you have to be impressed, obviously, with the Gator defense.
Well, our defense has played well, but I think it's been a total effort on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and we just need to keep going. That's the part about it, the second half remaining.
I don't want to dwell on the negative aspects that brought about the probation, but the fact that you cannot go to a bowl game, has that brought this team closer together? They have something to prove?
Well, I think so. I think it's just, every week, as you know, is an opportunity, and every week it gets a little bit more meaningful of an opportunity, and that's what it's all about, we have to take advantage of the opportunities, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
I know the players feel they can win the SEC title, at least on the field.
Yes, well, that's what it's all about, and we have this one the second half, and then next week, and then then we have our home state battle that's going to happen.
Well, we'll see the Gators again next week against Kentucky. Now let's go across the state, a visit to Gainesville.
With the gospel-flavored sounds of
the University of Florida, teaching, research, service, and a commitment to racial and cultural diversity.
Everyone on the University of Florida campus can make a difference when concerning racial relations and decreasing racial tensions. The only way that this can be done is for there to be cultural diversity throughout the campus, and therefore the University of Florida can be a greater learning experience for all cultures, all races, and all people.
Making a world of difference. The University of Florida.
The following message is brought to you by the Southeastern Conference. Athletic and academic excellence. The Southeastern Conference, the standard for excellence.
Gillette announces a razor that can sense the individual needs of your face. Introducing the extraordinary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and adjust to your face for the best shave a man can get. Closer, smoother, safer. New Gillette Sensor.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
The type A personality vacation. The type B personality vacation. The best vacations are this vacation, the Royal Caribbean vacation. Now the Fast Track has a pit stop. Royal Caribbean introduces 3- and 4-night Bahamas vacations.
Ernie Johnson back in our Atlanta studio, nearing the second half kickoff in Jacksonville with Florida leading Georgia 24-7. How's it going down there in Jacksonville? This kid will tell you. Gators taking a chunk out of those Bulldogs. Tim Paulk with the big defensive play here as the Greg Talley pass is bobbled by Sean Hummings. Paulk takes it the other way, 36 yards, and the Gators were out to a 14-0 lead. They threatened to make it 21-0, but fumbled, and Georgia came back with an answer. Andre Hastings, that fine freshman, will take the Greg Talley pass. It's a 23-yard hookup. He gets into the end zone and cuts the gap to 14-7. It was 17-7 Florida when they padded the lead late in the half. Ernie Mills, this is a 6-yard scoring play. He's tough, gets across that goal line for a 24-7 Florida lead. The Gators looking good. Georgia down by 17 at the half. Now, how about a little Ivy League action for you? Princeton at Yale. And Princeton on D, you got to love those uniforms with the stripes and stuff on the arms. And this is Darren Kaler making it 7-0. The Yale Bulldogs, right now it is a 7-7 tie. And yes, folks, the fashion police have been called on the Tigers. 7-7 at the half. I'll be back with score updates throughout the second half, and we'll take you through the top 25 in our post-game show. As we send you back to the Gator Bowl, we pass on a few more scores on another Saturday afternoon of college football.
The Georgia Pacific Halftime Report has been brought to you by Georgia Pacific Building Products, with superior performance built in.
Tonight, the United States, the Soviet Union, heavyweights toe-to-toe, and a superpower slugfest on U.S. Olympic Gold, a TBS Sports exclusive. 11:05 Eastern on TBS tonight.
Going home, if it going home.
When the pressure's on, Citgo's here to get you where you're going, especially when you're going home.
Going home.
This is your medical report. It's not so good, but we can work around it.
You lost millions.
This is a tremendous opportunity.
For him to be disabled?
You got to insult him. You got to humiliate him. Tony, you're a piece of garbage.
Sometimes you just got to go for it.
Why don't you try knocking me down?
Let's do it. Sylvester Stallone, Rocky V, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, November 16th at theaters everywhere.
No matter where in America you call home, you'll find men in Hager slacks, starting the day, making time for the important things, kicking back with the guys, or being there for someone special. Wherever men are working or playing, you'll find Hager slacks. Hager has a feel for the way you live, a feel for America.
Next Saturday, with a devastating defense and an awesome offense, the Gators are set to rip into the Wildcats. Florida versus Kentucky, exclusively on TBS, SEC football. Live at 12:30 Eastern next Saturday.
Craig Sager's on the sideline with Georgia head coach Ray Goff.
Well, thank you, Bob. Some of your worst fears may be being realized in the first half. What can you do differently?
Well, I hope we can go out and protect the football and quit making mistakes. We gave them some great opportunities, and Florida's a good football team. They took advantage of it, but our players are fighting, and we got a chance, and we just got to come out and execute and relax and play football.
Any plans to maybe put more men or do something against Kirkpatrick?
Well, we've just got to break on the ball better. They're throwing the ball through the middle. He's a great player, made some great plays, and we just got to up our tempo and play better.
Okay, thanks a lot. Back to you, Bob.
Georgia head coach Ray Goff down there. It's 24-7. Could be even worse than that, frankly.
It could be. The Georgia defense really got its back up a couple of times and kept Florida out of the end zone, or it could have been really disastrous in the first half. And the turnovers were really uncharacteristic of Georgia's offense. They had protected the ball well until this game, and they just made some costly ones, and they were right down in there close, too. I mean, they didn't give them 80 yards to go.
Shane Matthews been throwing the ball very well, 223 passing yards. Georgia with 82 passing yards, and most of those came in the first quarter. The second quarter for Georgia was just a donut in terms of offensive production.
And I think you'll probably see them go back to tally. This is a tough team to get yourself going with as a rookie, as a freshman, because they're not going to let you warm up. They're not going to let you throw that easy, quick pass, get your feet on the ground. They're going to harass you every time you touch the football. As you see Shane Matthews there, the young man from Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Well, Greg Talley is on the sideline with his helmet on. You're looking at Shane Matthews, who's thrown for 223 yards in the first half and 1 touchdown. So I think Talley will come back in. We saw Joe Dupree, and he just couldn't get anything going. As Georgia won the coin toss at the beginning of the game, deferred their decision to this second half. So Georgia will have an opportunity with the football. And I'm sure from their point of view, they'll hope they get a little bit better field position than they've been having. It's been poor all game long. Carswell and Wilson are deep. Boy, Krzyzewski really drove that ball long. That's into the wind. Georgia fumbles it at the 6. Carswell picks his way back out here to the 13. Georgia starts in the hole again. Here we talk about field positions for Georgia. Look at where they start these drives.
Well, it's not where they started, it's where they ended. You know, a fumble, an interception, and then a punt. They woke up, now went 96 yards, great job, but then they came back and threw an interception on their own 6-yard line. And then after that, that was it. No more first downs.
All the first downs for Georgia in the first half came on that one drive. From the 14-yard line, Bulldogs. Talley is back in at quarterback. Here's Garrison Hurst. He's having a tough day. He gets out to the 16-yard line. Georgia's freshman running back has 6 carries for 14 yards. I mean, this Gator defense held Auburn to minus 14 yards rushing last week. That was the worst offensive performance ever by an Auburn football team.
Well, they're number 1 in the SEC, number 5 in the nation against the rush. In, scoring defense, they're number 2 in the SEC. They're 8th in the nation.
Second down, about 8. Hurst in motion. Talley, short drop. Finds his tight end, Boone. Boone breaks a couple of tackles and dives out here to about the 17. Needs to get to the, to the 23. He needs to get to the 24 for the first down.
Broome is really their blocking tight end. Now, they've got him in there to protect Greg Talley. They probably won't get him into the pattern much as a primary receiver, but he'll check out of there. That time they tried to drag him across after the pattern developed, and Bartley read it well, was there to make the hit, but Chris weighs 245 pounds and ran through the co-SEC Defensive Player of the Week, Ephesians Bartley.
Georgia trying for their first down since their touchdown drive. 3rd down 2. Here come the Gator defensively. Talley rolls out of there. Incomplete. Ball was thrown behind Kevin Maxwell, as you can see. The Georgia struggling at the quarterback position, but that's not the only one they're struggling at here today. Once again, no first down for the Bulldogs. And in comes Scott Armstrong, who's had a difficult day trying to punt the ball away. If he can get it up in the air at this point, though, the wind is behind him. Terrence Barber had a great punt return against Auburn.
It was the SEC Play of the Week last year, 73-yarder, and he must have ran a half a mile back and forth.
Armstrong gets it away. It's a low liner to Barber right at the 50-yard line, just inside Georgia territory. 31-yard punt again, though. So Armstrong continues to struggle.
Detergent gasolines. Keep your car running smooth and clean, especially when you're going home.
Going home!
Introducing the American Beauty. It took vision and courage to bring it to you. It took a policy of unceasing devotion to quality. A revolution in the way its V6 engine and electronic transmission worked together with Dynoride to make it the smoothest Buick ever built. The completely new 1991 Park Avenue and Park Avenue Ultra. They're beauties, all right. American beauties. From Buick, the new symbol for quality in America and beyond.
Portions of today's game are brought to you by Buick, the new symbol for quality in America, and by Days Inn at over 1,000 great locations.
How about a probation bowl between Florida and Houston? Neither are eligible for postseason competition. We asked senior Kirk Patrick what it meant to them to have that ruling by the NCAA that Florida could not go to a bowl game.
It was a big blow to us, but after a couple of weeks, we realized that the only thing we could do is go out and treat every game as a bowl game, and that's what we've tried to do. And each game we get excited, and Coach Spurrier says, not everybody gets to play in front of 75,000, so you should be lucky even just playing football for the University of Florida, and that's the way we feel now. So we treat every game as a bowl game, and what better bowl would it be than to play Georgia in front of 82,000?
There's some of the 82. Florida leading 24-7. Kirkpatrick 7 catches, 101 yards today. What a great tight end. First down from the 49-yard line. The draw play to McClendon for the 41. Greg Jackson tripped him up. Tim, there's a case the passing game's going so well for Florida, but this play is going to start working effectively.
And this is the play that they uncorked against Auburn, too. You get those guys coming up field, and it just creates natural seams. Florida linemen do such a great job of just pushing people by the hole. McClendon almost went a long way on that. Excellent effort by Greg Jackson just to get a foot, or Willie was off and running.
Second down 2 from the 42-yard line. 12:34 to go, third quarter. Along with Tim Foley, Bob Neal with you. Georgia, Florida, 68th meeting. McClendon breaking a tackle, but then Dwayne Simmons got there, and he had help from Greg Jackson. Here's what Florida did in the first half when they had the football. A couple of early turnovers.
You fumble, and then they got it right back. Their defense got it right back for them again. They turned it over, they fumbled it again, and now they got on track, and they really started to grind up the yardage. And they've had good field position, but when they didn't have the field position, they drove the football.
This will be third down 1, Florida. Here's the pitch to Ritt. Georgia is going to stop him. Short of the first down. Mike Jones has made some big plays here today, and he did it again.
And Bob, Mo Lewis did an excellent job on the strong side of that formation. Watch number 57, Mo Lewis here. He takes on Kirkpatrick, just holds him up. Ronley looking for the seal. Dexter McNabb looking for the seal. Jones slid underneath those blocks and made the big hit.
Florida's first punt of the day. Carswell's back at his 10 for Georgia. Krzyzewski, the field goal kicker, took over the punting job. About 3 games in. Carswell fair catches it at the 9-yard line. And we'll be back with Georgia starting in the hole once again.
Think about it. There are thousands of building products in there. So which do you ask for? Just ask for Georgia Pacific. Even if you forget that our Southern Gold plywood is double sanded for smoothness. Even if steam cured and solid lineal are Greek to you. Just remember that every GP product has superior performance built in. So if ceramic coated granules or Acraglass top coat seem impossible to remember, just ask for Georgia Pacific. That's all you need to know.
This is your medical report. It's not so good, but we can work around it. You lost millions. This is a tremendous opportunity.
For him to be disabled?
You got to insult him. You got to humiliate him. It's only you, a piece of garbage.
Sometimes you just got to go for it.
Why don't you try knocking me down?
Let's do it. Sylvester Stallone, Rocky 5, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, November 16th at theaters everywhere.
Next week, Tim and I will be following these same Florida Gators with their 24-7 lead here today up to Lexington, Kentucky. Kentucky 3-5 on the year right now. Kentucky, however, has been playing a little bit better. Georgia having to keep it conservative down there inside their 10. They run it out the right side with a few yards off right tackle across the 10 to about the 12-yard line, and Max Strong, the fullback, with the carry.
There's Jim Bates, the defensive coordinator here in Florida. He's been with West Virginia as a secondary coach. Texas Tech. Was a head coach of the San Antonio Gunslingers and also was the Arizona Outlaws and USFL. Very experienced, and he's the architect of this 4-3 scheme that Florida's using.
Hand it off to Larry Ware. Larry Ware out across the 15. The 16, the line to makes out at the 20. Godfrey Miles with the stop for Florida. Godfrey playing with a sore back. That's something, there's a look at Ware. There's something about Florida. Florida has been fortunate to avoid the big injuries this year, too, for the most part. They've stayed healthy. A lot of people think, including Spurrier, that one reason is he doesn't have a lot of heavy contact during the year, and they're now playing on natural grass down at Florida Field. They have heavy contact on game day. You've seen that. Here's the pitch to Ware. Tries to get the first down on the right side. Culpepper, number 50, coming up to make the play.
And you have to take your hat off to Bates and Jerry Anderson, Bob Sanders, Jim Collins, all these coaches here in Florida. Look at Brandon hustling after football. Murray, Culpepper, who has just been a standout for him, 2-time academic All-SEC and 3.5 sacks this year. And this is a group of guys that's playing a new defense. And you talk about getting the hang of it. They really now are just starting to understand where their help's coming from. And and what their responsibilities are.
Sixth punt of the day for Armstrong. He's only averaging 35 yards per punt. Have to keep wondering when Barber's going to break one. It came after it again. Gets a Georgia bounce this time, and finally Armstrong's able to get it inside Florida territory, although just barely. That was only a 34-yard punt.
Right, get him. Here we go, get him.
Even when all of Company B heads for the phone, it's no problem for Gail Godfrey.
Delta Airlines, Gail Godfrey.
Y'all fly to Lubbock, Texas?
Yes, that is confirmed.
I got some friends who want to talk to you now. Just hold on a second. Thank you. Cincinnati, Ohio. New York City. Monroe, Louisiana. Albuquerque, New Mexico. San Jose, California. Portland, Oregon. Butte, Montana.
You're all set. Thank you for calling, Delta.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Gail. Did you get many calls this afternoon? One.
Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
Put one, put two. It all happens Sunday morning. Your first look at the pros begins with NFL Preview. Up front, up close. NFL Preview, Sunday mornings at 11:30 Eastern on CNN.
For home heating, for cooking, or hot water, choose gas. If you're beyond natural gas service, use propane.
The Georgia Pacific Halftime Report is brought to you by Georgia Pacific Building Products with superior performance built in.
In that border war in Jacksonville, Florida, a heavy favorite, leading Georgia 24-7. Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio with the Georgia Pacific Halftime Report. Only one SEC team has the day off. Ole Miss, bracing for a date with Tennessee next week, puts its conference title hopes on hold for the afternoon. On the schedule today, you see Georgia trailing 24-7. Vanderbilt and Kentucky are tied up in the first. Auburn and Southern Miss have just kicked it off. Later, it's number 10 Tennessee hosting number 1 Notre Dame, LSU at Alabama, and Mississippi State traveling to Memphis State. Around the nation today, Virginia knocked from its number 1 perch a week ago, knocked from the top of the ACC heap. On the road at Chapel Hill, taking on North Carolina today, and there was an NCAA record at Kenan Stadium, and it came from Virginia's Herman Moore. He catches the Sean Moore touchdown pass from 13 yards. That's a touchdown catch in 9 consecutive regular season games in the same season, and that is a record. Those two would hook up again later. This one's a 42-yarder down there inside the Tar Heel 5-yard line, setting up another Virginia touchdown. It comes from number 33, Nicky Fisher, around that left side. He'll get in there from 2 yards away, and a 14-3 Virginia lead. Cavaliers were just getting warmed up, too. Sean Moore, the Heisman hopeful, 42 yards here. He's got Terry Kirby in his sights, and Virginia has a 21-3 lead at the half. Right now, they are in the third period, and that remains the advantage for the Cavaliers, 21-3 over the Tar Heels. Now, Georgia Tech Giant Killers last week struggling today. They're at the half, playing at home, and tied scoreless with Virginia Tech. Big one in the Big Ten. Iowa trying to make way to the Rose Bowl, leading at the half 17-14 over Ohio State. It's Michigan, ranked number 19, 12-3 over Illinois. They are in the third period. Maryland playing at Penn State today. Scott Zolak of the Terps wants to throw. Leonard Humphreys wants to go the other way for the Nittany Lions, and that he does. 72 yards for the Nittany Lion touchdown. Penn State out to a 7-0 lead. Now, Maryland has only beaten these guys once in 33 tries, but they do tie the game later in the first. Zolak to Barry Johnson to make it a 7-7 game. Right now, the Terps hanging tough with them. Penn State and Maryland all tied up 10 apiece. They are at the half. In the third period, Temple leads Pittsburgh 7-6. They've had a bench-clearing brawl of 10 minutes in that one. At the half, West Virginia a 7-3 lead over Rutgers. Air Force is shutting out Army. They are at the half, 9-0. In the first, Tulane has a 7-3 lead over Syracuse. South Carolina and Southern Illinois knotted up at 7 in the first. NC State is shutting out Duke, 16-0 in the second period. In the Southwest Conference, Arkansas playing at Baylor. Baylor's Steve Needham going to go long to Melvin Bonner. He hooks up with him for the score here, and that erased a 3-0 Arkansas lead. Baylor on top in the second period. That score, 7-3 Bears over the Razorbacks. And Wisconsin and Indiana, 7-0. Indiana with the lead. They are in the second quarter. And coming up on the Georgia Pacific Halftime Report, we'll go back to Jacksonville and Craig Sager with the story of the off-the-field happenings that lend so much atmosphere to the Georgia-Florida rivalry.
Burkina Faso in West Central Africa is the 5th poorest nation in the world. 9 million inhabitants live in abject poverty. But a small group of University of Georgia graduates like Ame Nianogo search for new food sources in a country living on the brink of starvation. Their work gives Burkina Faso hope of a healthy economy and a better life for her people. The University of Georgia preparing our students for the challenges of a world.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and one die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die-hard. More power when you need it most.
This year, IndyCar racing was dominated by one man, Al Unser Jr., 1990 IndyCar champion.
If a driver ever told you, no, I don't get scared, I'm not scared, he's lying to you. The technology that goes into the Indy car is second to none. Over half the field at Indy is using Valvoline. If there was a motor oil out there that was better, it would be in my car.
People who know use Valvoline.
And what's the #1 thing you like about the South?
The food? It's my home.
My mama. Now that's hard. And what's your #1 headache powder?
Why, goodies, of course.
It's not without reason. People have made Goodies #1.
Goodies.
Because it combines the 2 pain relievers that doctors recommend most.
Goodies.
And it's one of the few things most of us can agree upon. Now that's easy. Goodies. The South's #1 headache powder.
Die-Hard, America's most trusted replacement battery. Its breakthrough design gives you more power and more confidence from the start. Sears Die-Hard, more power when you need it most.
And welcome back to the Georgia Pacific Halftime Report. The Dogs and Gators have staged some pretty fair SEC battles over the years, but football is only one part of the weekend in Jacksonville. Craig Sager fills us in on the other part as we head back down to Jacksonville. Craig?
Well, thank you, Ernie. Ray Goff and Steve Spurrier are more interested in the weight of the line, the speed of the runners, and the accuracy of the quarterback than they are in the water line, tacking position, or sail area. But no matter the endeavor, these two schools are always trying to get the best of each other. Although it is not the sea, but the turf that will be the stage for the annual showdown in this rivalry, boosters from the two schools set sail on the St. Johns River.
I think if we had to pick, I think Florida has a few more sailors.
But challenging the American boat was the Fazizi from Soviet Georgia, the sailing capital of that country. And Georgia fans everywhere speak the same language.
Georgian comes bulldog, yes? And who is bull? Yeah, yes.
But the dog's bark could be bigger than its bite.
I hope we keep the score down, to make it a good game so that the Georgia people will come back.
Great to be a Gator hater.
Although the Fazizi was first to the landing, the score was far from settled.
Like a boxer, you go back in the ring and you still throw the punches.
Good dog, Tim!
Forget about the ranting and raving. Only one way to settle this dispute, and a unique one at that.
Oh, thank you.
In the 9th race at the Orange Park Kennel Club, 4 dogs donned in Gator attire, with a quartet decked out in red and black. The crowd, like the Gator Bowl, evenly divided between Georgia fans and Florida fans. I'm going with the Bulldogs. For after all, Bulldog may not be able to outrun a Greyhound or a Whippet, but come on, did you ever hear of a Gator that could run faster than a rabbit?
Now on top, it's the Bulldogs. Here comes the 6 ML Hammer. It's 6-2 as they round the turn. That's Name the Date and ML Hammer. Who's it going to be, the Gators or the Bulldogs? It's 6-2 down to the wire. It's tight to the light.
Money can buy a dog, but not the tail that wags it. And on this night, the top dog was from Georgia, and so were the next 2. No way a Gator could touch ML Hammer. Well, it was hammer time last night. The top dog, underdog today, and before it's over, maybe a whip pup. 24-7 the score. Florida winning. We talked to Vince Dooley before the game. With us now, Bill Arnsparger, athletic director of Florida. Awfully impressive with the Gators today.
Well, it was. It could have been, we could be a little bit better, but we had some turnovers and then a couple of missed opportunities, and that's really been the first half, I think, turnovers and touchdowns.
Throughout your coaching career, you're known as a defensive genius. After what happened last week against Auburn and now against Georgia, you have to be impressed, obviously, with the Gator defense.
Well, our defense has played well, but I think it's been a total effort on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and we just need to keep going. That's the part about it, the second half remaining.
I don't want to dwell on the negative aspects that brought about the probation, but the fact that you cannot go to a bowl game, has that brought this team closer together? They have something to prove?
Well, I think so. I think it's just, you know, every week, as you know, is an opportunity, and every week it gets a little bit more meaningful of an opportunity, and that's what it's all about. We have to take advantage of the opportunities, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
I know the players feel they can win the SEC title, at least on the field.
Yes, well, that's what it's all about, and we have this one the second half, and then next week, and then you know, then we have our home state battle that's going to happen.
We'll see the Gators again next week against Kentucky. Now let's go across the state, a visit to Gainesville.
With the gospel-flavored sounds of
the University of Florida, teaching, research, service, and a commitment to racial and cultural diversity.
Everyone on the University of Florida campus can make a difference when concerning racial relations and decreasing racial tensions. The only way that this can be done is for there to be cultural diversity throughout the campus, and therefore the University of Florida can be a greater learning experience for all cultures, all races, and all people.
Making a world of difference. The University of Florida.
The following message is brought to you by the Southeastern Conference. Athletic and academic excellence. The Southeastern Conference, the standard for excellence.
Gillette announces a razor that can sense the individual needs of your face.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
Introducing the extraordinary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and adjust to your face for the best shave a man can get. Closer, smoother, safer. New Gillette Sensor.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
The Type A personality vacation. The Type B personality vacation. The best vacations are this vacation, the Royal Caribbean vacation. Now the Fast Track has a pit stop. Royal Caribbean introduces 3- and 4-night Bahamas vacations.
Ernie Johnson back in our Atlanta studio, nearing the second half kickoff in Jacksonville with Florida leading Georgia 24-7. How's it going down there in Jacksonville? This kid will tell you. Gators taking a chunk out of those Bulldogs. Tim Paulk with the big defensive play here. As the Greg Talley pass is bobbled by Sean Hummings, Paulk takes it the other way, 36 yards, and the Gators were out to a 14-0 lead. They threatened to make it 21-0, but fumbled, and Georgia came back with an answer. Andre Hastings, that fine freshman, will take the Greg Talley pass. It's a 23-yard hookup. He gets into the end zone and cuts the gap to 14-7. It was 17-7 Florida when they padded the lead late in the half. Ernie Mills, this is a 6-yard scoring play. He's tough, gets across that goal line for a 24-7 Florida lead. The Gators looking good. Georgia down by 17 at the half. Now, how about a little Ivy League action for you? Princeton at Yale. And Princeton on D, you got to love those uniforms with the stripes and stuff on the arms. And this is Darren Kaler making it 7-0. The Yale Bulldogs. Right now it is a 7-7 tie. And yes, folks, the fashion police have been called on the Tigers. 7-7 at the half. I'll be back with score updates throughout the second half, and we'll take you through the top 25 in our post-game show. As we send you back to the Gator Bowl, we pass on a few more scores on another Saturday afternoon of college football.
The Georgia Pacific Halftime Report has been brought to you by Georgia Pacific Building Products, with superior performance built in.
Tonight, the United States, the Soviet Union, heavyweights toe-to-toe, and a superpower slugfest on U.S. Olympic Gold on TBS Sports Exclusive, 11:05 Eastern on TBS tonight.
pressure's on, Citgo's here to get you where you're going, especially when you're going home.
Going home.
This is your medical report. It's not so good, but we can work around it. You lost millions. This is a tremendous opportunity.
For him to be disabled?
You got to insult him. You got to humiliate him. Tell me you're a piece of garbage.
Sometimes you just got to go for it.
Why don't you try knocking me down?
Let's do it. Sylvester Stallone, Rocky V, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, November 16th at theaters everywhere.
No matter where in America you call home, you'll find men in Hager slacks, starting the day, making time for the important things, kicking back with the guys, or being there for someone special. Wherever men are working or playing, you'll find Hager slacks. Hager has a feel for the way you live, a feel for America.
Next Saturday, with a devastating defense and an awesome offense, the Gators are set to rip into the Wildcats. Florida versus Kentucky, exclusively on TBS, SEC football. Live at 12:30 Eastern next Saturday.
Craig Sager's on the sideline with Georgia head coach Ray Goff.
Well, thank you, Bob. Some of your worst fears may be being realized in the first half. What can you do differently?
Well, I hope we can go out and protect the football and quit making mistakes. We gave them some great opportunities, and Florida's a good football team. They took advantage of it, but our players are fighting, and we got a chance, and we just got to come out and execute and relax and play football.
Any plans to maybe put more men or do something against Kirkpatrick?
Well, we've just got to break on the ball better. They're throwing the ball through the middle. He's a great player, made some great plays, and we just got to up our tempo and play better.
Okay, thanks a lot. Back to you, Bob.
Georgia head coach Ray Goff down there. It's 24-7. Could be even worse than that, frankly.
It could be. The Georgia defense really got its back up a couple of times and kept Florida out of the end zone, or it could have been really disastrous in the first half. And the turnovers were really uncharacteristic of Georgia's offense. They had protected the ball well until this game, and they just made some costly ones, and they were right down in there close, too. I mean, they didn't give them 80 yards to go.
Shane Matthews been throwing the ball very well, 223 passing yards. Georgia with 82 passing yards, and most of those came in the first quarter. The second quarter for Georgia was just a donut in terms of offensive production.
And I think you'll probably see them go back to tally. This is a tough team to get yourself going with as a rookie, as a freshman, because they're not going to let you warm up. They're not going to let you throw that easy, quick pass, get your feet on the ground. They're going to harass you every time you touch the football. As you see Shane Matthews there, the young man from Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Well, Greg Talley is on the sideline with his helmet on. You're looking at Shane Matthews, who's thrown for 223 yards in the first half and 1 touchdown. So I think Talley will come back in. We saw Joe Dupree, and he just couldn't get anything going. As Georgia won the coin toss at the beginning of the game, deferred their decision to this second half. So Georgia will have an opportunity with the football. And I'm sure from their point of view, they'll hope they get a little bit better field position than they've been having. It's been poor all game long. Carswell and Wilson are deep. Boy, Krzyzewski really drove that ball long. That's into the wind. Georgia fumbles it at the 6. Carswell picks his way back out here to the 13. Georgia starts in the hole again. Here we talk about field positions for Georgia. Look at where they start these drives.
Well, it's not where they started, it's where they ended. A fumble, an interception, and then a punt. They woke up, now went 96 yards, great job, but then they came back and threw an interception on their own 6-yard line. And then after that, that was it. No more first downs.
All the first downs for Georgia in the first half came on that one drive. From the 14-yard line, Bulldogs. Talley is back in at quarterback. Here's Garrison Hurst. He's having a tough day. He gets out to the 16-yard line. Georgia's freshman running back has 6 carries for 14 yards. And this Gator defense held Auburn to minus 14 yards rushing last week. That was the worst offensive performance ever by an Auburn football team.
Well, they're number 1 in the SEC, number 5 in the nation against the rush. In scoring defense, they're number 2 in the SEC. They're 8th in the nation.
Second down, about 8. Hurst in motion. Talley, short drop.
Finds his tight end, Boone. Boone breaks a couple of tackles and dives out here to about the 17. Needs to get to the, to the 23. He needs to get to the 24 for the first down.
Broome is really their blocking tight end. Now, they've got him in there to protect Greg Talley. They probably won't get him into the pattern much as a primary receiver, but he'll check out of there. That time they tried to drag him across after the pattern developed, and Bartley read it well, was there to make the hit, but Chris weighs 245 pounds and ran through the co-SEC Defensive Player of the Week, Ephesians Bartley.
Georgia trying for their first down since their touchdown drive. 3rd down 2. Here come the Gator defensively. Talley rolls out of there. Incomplete. Ball was thrown behind Kevin Maxwell, as you can see. The Georgia struggling at the quarterback position, but that's not the only one they're struggling at here today. Once again, no first down for the Bulldogs. And in comes Scott Armstrong, who's had a difficult day trying to punt the ball away. If he can get it up in the air at this point, though, the wind is behind him. Terrence Barber had a great punt return against Auburn.
It was the SEC Play of the Week last year, 73-yarder, and he must have ran a half a mile back and forth.
Armstrong gets it away. It's a low liner to Barber right at the 50-yard line, just inside Georgia territory. 31-yard punt again, though. So Armstrong continues to struggle.
Detergent gasolines keep your car running smooth and clean, especially when you're going home. Going home!
Introducing the American Beauty. It took vision and courage to bring it to you. It took a policy of unceasing devotion to quality. A revolution in the way its V6 engine and electronic transmission worked together with Dyna-Ride to make it the smoothest Buick ever built. The completely new 1991 Park Avenue and Park Avenue Ultra. They're beauties, all right, American beauties. From Buick, the new symbol for quality in America and beyond.
Portions of today's game are brought to you by Buick, the new symbol for quality in America, and by Days Inn at over 1,000 great locations.
How about a probation bowl between Florida and Houston? Neither eligible for postseason competition. We asked senior Kirkpatrick what it meant to them to have that ruling by the NCAA that Florida could not go to a bowl game.
It was a big blow to us, but after a couple of weeks, we realized that the only thing we could do is go out and treat every game as a bowl game, and that's what we've tried to do. And each game we get excited, and Coach Spurrier says, not everybody gets to play in front of 75,000, so you should be lucky even just playing football for the University of Florida, and that's the way we feel now. So we treat every game as a bowl game, and what better bowl would it be than to play Georgia in front of 82,000?
There's some of the 82. Florida leading 24-7. Kirkpatrick 7 catches, 101 yards today. What a great tight end. First down from the 49-yard line. The draw play to McClendon for the 41. Greg Jackson tripped him up. Tim, there's a case the passing game's going so well for Florida, but this play is going to start working effectively.
And this is the play that they uncorked against Auburn, too. You get those guys coming up field, and it just creates natural speed. Florida linemen do such a great job of just pushing people by the hole. McClendon almost went a long way on that. Excellent effort by Greg Jackson just to get a foot, or Willie was off and running.
Second down 2 from the 42-yard line. 12:34 to go, third quarter. Along with Tim Foley, Bob Neal with you. Georgia, Florida, 68th meeting. McClendon breaking a tackle, but then Dwayne Simmons got there, and he had help from Greg Jackson. Here's what Florida did in the first half when they had the football. A couple of early turnovers.
You fumble, and then they got it right back. Their defense got it right back for them again. They turned it over, they fumbled it again, and now they got on track, and they really started to grind up the yardage. And they've had good field position, But when they didn't have the field position, they drove the football.
This will be 3rd down 1, Florida. Here's the pitch to Rhett. Georgia is going to stop him. Short of the first down. Mike Jones has made some big plays here today, and he did it again.
And Bob Mo Lewis did an excellent job on the strong side of that formation. Watch number 57, Mo Lewis here. He takes on Kirkpatrick, just holds him up. Ronling looking for the seal. Dexter McNabb looking for the seal. Jones slid underneath those blocks and made the big hit.
Florida's first punt of the day. Carswell's back at his 10 for Georgia. Krzyzewski, the field goal kicker, took over the punting job. About 3 games in. Carswell fair catches it at the 9-yard line. And we'll be back with Georgia starting in the hole once again.
Think about it. There are thousands of building products in there. So which do you ask for? Just ask for Georgia Pacific. Even if you forget that our Southern Gold plywood is double sanded for smoothness. Even if steam cured and solid lineal are Greek to you, just remember that every GP product has superior performance built in. So if ceramic coated granules or Acraglass top coat seem impossible to remember, just ask for Georgia Pacific. That's all you need to know.
This is your medical report. It's not so good, but we can work around it.
You lost millions.
This is a tremendous opportunity.
For him to be disabled?
You got to insult him. You got to humiliate him. Tell me you're a piece of garbage.
Sometimes you just got to go for it.
Why don't you try knocking me down?
Let's do it. Sylvester Stallone, Rocky V, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, November 16th at theaters everywhere.
Next week, Tim and I will be following these same Florida Gators with their 24-7 lead here today up to Lexington, Kentucky. Kentucky 3-5 on the year right now. Kentucky, however, has been playing a little bit better. Georgia having to keep it conservative down there inside their 10. They run it out the right side with a few yards off right tackle across the 10 to about the 12-yard line, and Max Strong, the fullback, with the carry.
There's Jim Bates, the defensive coordinator here in Florida. He's been with West Virginia as a secondary coach. Texas Tech was a head coach of the San Antonio Gunslingers and also was the Arizona Outlaws and USFL. Very experienced, and he's the architect of this 4-3 scheme that Florida's using.
Hand it off to Larry Ware. Larry Ware out across the 15. The 16, the line to makes out at the 20. Godfrey Miles with the stop for Florida. Godfrey playing with a sore back. That's something. There's a look at Ware. There's something about Florida. Florida has been fortunate to avoid the big injuries this year, too, for the most part. They've stayed healthy. A lot of people think, including Spurrier, that one reason is he doesn't have a lot of heavy contact during the year, and they're now playing on natural grass down at Florida Field. They have heavy contact on game day. You've seen that. Here's the pitch to Ware. Tries to get the first down on the right side. Culpepper, number 50, coming up to make the play.
And you have to take your hat off to Bates and Jerry Anderson, Bob Sanders, Jim Collins, all these coaches here in Florida. Look at Brandon hustling after football. Murray, Culpepper, who has just been a standout for him, 2-time academic All-SEC and 3.5 sacks this year. And this is a group of guys that's playing a new defense. And you talk about getting the hang of it. They really now are just starting to understand where their help's coming from and what their responsibilities are.
Sixth punt of the day for Armstrong. He's only averaging 35 yards per punt. Have to keep wondering when Barber's going to break one. But came after it again. Gets a Georgia bounce this time. And finally, Armstrong's able to get it inside Florida territory, although just barely. That was only a 34-yard punt.
Right, get him, go get him. Come in. That's right.
Even when all of Company B heads for the phone, it's no problem for Gail Godfrey.
Delta Airlines, Gail Godfrey.
Y'all fly to Lubbock, Texas?
Yes, that is confirmed.
I got some friends who want to talk to you now. Just hold on a second. Thank you. Cincinnati, Ohio. New York City. Monroe, Louisiana. Albuquerque, New Mexico. San Jose, California. Portland, Oregon. Montana.
You're all set. Thank you for calling, Delta.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Gail. Did you get many calls this afternoon? One.
Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
Put one, put two. It all happens Sunday morning. Your first look at the pros begins with NFL Preview. Up front, up close. NFL Preview, Sunday mornings at 11:30 Eastern on CNN.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and one die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
Okay, here's Florida's least favorite play in history. 1980, minute 35 to go. Florida leading 21-20. The longest TD pass in Georgia history. Buck Bellew. Lindsey Scott, 93 yards. Georgia, 26. Florida, 21. So, Georgia fans watching today, there it is. You see the live shot from the historical area. That's about all Georgia fans could get any enjoyment out of today. Trailing 24-7, 8:59 to go third quarter. Florida first and 10 at the Florida 48-yard line. Here's a flea flicker. Back to Matthews. Going deep. Wide open. Barber. Well, I guess Georgia fans got to see a replay of the 1980 Lindsey Scott, and Florida just gives you something live right now in living color.
But it sure is going to be interesting when Florida and Florida State get together. Spurrier and Bowden go. Every once in a while they'll hand the ball off, you know.
30-7. Krzyzewski for the point after.
This is really going to be interesting, Bob, because George Wynn was not fooled initially. By the time Matthews had the ball, he was running right with Barber.
Well, it was the handoff in the pitch back to the quarterback. Now becoming really an old traditional kind of play. And Terrence Barber, the speed merchant senior from Auburndale, was there.
But you really can't see it here, but right now Wynn is running with Barber, and he came off to pick up Mills and just left Barber. Barber makes the catch, dives into the end zone. 6 big ones.
How about this move?
Hey, all right.
Walter Payton.
Look at Wynn. Wynn's in good shape. Matthews has the ball back now.
Oops.
And Wynn was coming off him. Matthews must have been looking at Mills, and he let him go.
Yeah, Ozzie Smith. I could name a lot of guys who did that flip. And there you go.
That's Tom Smith, our director, you know, and reminding us of these baseball guys.
Tom Smith, the Gator. That's why Tom's talking to us today. He's very happy in the truck. Go back to our producer from Georgia. Here comes Carswell. He has the seam down the sideline, and Carswell is bumped out of bounds out at the 45-yard line. A big play. It was Rulin who bumped him out, and a return of 39 yards. Well, Georgia certainly needed that, trailing 31-7.
Well, the 2 previous kickoff, one Hurst downed on the 5, and the one before that, the one after that, actually, Carswell bobbled, but now Carswell trying to punish the kicker there. Good return by Chuck Carswell. Injured his neck in the spring in '89, missed all last year, and they're glad to have that young man from Marietta back.
Now, let's see how Georgia operates out here at the middle of the field. This is uncharted territory, save for the one drive. Larry Ware on a misdirection. Tim Falk was there to lead the way. This Florida there's a penalty marker down on the far side, I think. This Florida defense is so quick. They got all going right, which is what the play wanted them to do, and they made the change back as quickly as the running back. One play, 8 seconds, 51 yards. Thank you very much.
An illegal motion by the offense at the snap. The penalty declined. Got 2nd down.
It'll be 2nd down 10 at the 45-yard line. Greg Talley's been ineffective in terms of getting the team moving. They tried Joe Dupree. He was ineffective. Obviously, it was not the quarterback's fault. Well, Georgia's been unable to run the ball, unable to block effectively. Tally, you see that real short drop. Here's Hummings. Look how he's surrounded. Count the jerseys out there in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in that picture.
Good move, though, and that's how you have to attack this defense. Quick 3-step drop, get rid of the football. You're not going to have much time to throw it. Now, you'd like to be able to throw it inside, but they do such a great job of coaching these guys to get their hands up. Did you see that? You'd be surprised how many passes broken up the defensive linemen have for Florida. And that's a tribute to Sanders and Jerry Anderson, the coaches.
Right back there, Jerry Odom met Larry Ware in the backfield. Number 1 total defense in the SEC, number 2 in total defense in the country.
Brandon 97, Culpepper. Look at Polk step up there, and Odom fires through. No shot. Number 92, Darren Mickle. There's an overachiever. And there's a guy that is teaching him, Jim Bates. Steve Spurrier brought him in here as his defensive coordinator from Tennessee last year. He was with Tennessee.
High snap.
A swing and a miss.
Almost missed it. He hit one of the officials. Unbelievable. What a nightmare the punting game has been. It was almost snapped over Armstrong's head. Then he lost his concentration. Almost missed the ball. A punt of 4 yards. Remember, Scott Armstrong, we're certainly not just railing on this young man, is a true freshman, 18 years old.
And he's been watching film on these guys, and he knows how fast they come. He might have hit that one on the first hop. Where'd it go?
Scott came in today 3rd in the SEC in punting. Dropping the stats a little bit after today. And of course, he's been under pressure every time, one way or another. McNabb with about 3 yards for Florida, leading 31-7, 6:40 to go, 3rd quarter. This was the largest margin by which either team had been favored in the history of this series.
See Spurrier signaling in the calls. He's not the only great former Gator quarterback on this staff. John Reeves coaches the tight ends, and Kerwin Bell is up here, and see him down the way there up in the booth. 3 of the premier Gator quarterbacks of all time.
2nd down 6. Here's McClendon. First down, Florida with the 43-yard line. Mike Jones with his 6th tackle of the day. Mike Jones been very active, but remember, he's in the secondary. He's the strong safety. Florida will go up to Kentucky. We'll have that television broadcast for you next week at 12:30 Eastern Time. Tim and I will be there in Lexington. Then the open date before the game with Florida State. So Florida 7-1, going to go 8-1 today. We favored to go 9-1 against Kentucky. And when they play against Florida State, that'll be the Florida Bowl game. It'll be bowl game number 11. Open across the middle is Monty Duncan to the 26-yard line, gain of 17. Duncan's a freshman, a redshirt.
So those linebackers set up there, and they just not getting enough depth to cut this pass off. At least get him to throw it up in the air a little bit. Duncan makes the catch and stays on his feet. Johnny Allen finally brings him to the ground.
First down at the 26-yard line of Georgia. This Georgia defense has been out there, I'm sure, to them for what seems like days. McClendon had a big hole about to open up there, but Andre Washington, another true freshman linebacker, tripped him up. Youngest Georgia team since 1964, Tim.
27 years. They feel real good about the future of this football team, but unfortunately they got to play through the present to get to the future, and that can be at times, I'm sure, for Ray kind of very frustrating and sometimes embarrassing.
2nd down 9. Will White, Al Jackson came up very quickly. Will White's number 2 for Florida, of course. Al Jackson for Georgia making the stop.
The young cornerback from Pensacola there, and that's how you play that short pass in the flat. Lay back, they can throw it up over your head, and then Al, when he throws it short, do what you just did. Deliver a blow. Make him remember you. So when the ball's in the air the next time, he's thinking about, I wonder if that Jackson guy's coming again.
4 minutes to go, third quarter, 3rd down 6. Georgia trying to come after Matthews. Look how well Florida picks it up. First down right across the middle to the 10. Kirkpatrick's 8th catch of the day. Watch McClendon pick up the blitz here. Torrey Evans comes in. Willie McClendon did a great job of picking him up.
You see this time, you see Georgia linebackers are up there. They're telling Matthews this is a blitz. And so what you got is a one-on-one matchup here, here, and here. And this time Kirkpatrick just works his way to the inside, sets it up, works his way to the inside. Matthews delivers the ball.
First down, 10 from the 11. Penalty markers go down. Matthews couldn't get the snap quickly enough, and the 25-second clock wound down. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Well, he was trying to get into a play change, and sometimes the quarterbacks or the defensive signal callers get a little bit.
Snap, the 25-second clock expired. Got first down still.
Get a little bit frustrated with the coach. Give me the sign soon enough so I can get to the line of scrimmage. If I want to make a change, I can get us out of a bad play. And that time, Matthews got caught trying to get into the right play.
300 yards on the day for Matthews. We have 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's going to be a 400-yard game if they decide to keep throwing it. Matthews against a 3-man rush. A lot of time. Couldn't complete it. Tried for Trey Everett. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson in Atlanta.
Thank you very much, Bob Neal. Kenan Stadium, Chapel Hill. North Carolina backup quarterback Chucky Burnett going to air it out to Julius Reese. And look at the catch by Reese down here inside the 5. Great concentration. That's not a touchdown, but it set one up. But still, the Tar Heels trail 24-10 late in the fourth quarter. Back to Bob Neal and Tim Foley.
Second down 15 from the 16 for the Gators, leading 31-7 here at the Gator Bowl. Starting to cloud up again here. Touchdown, Ernie Mills. $37-7. Remember, these Gators beat Auburn by 41.
Dixon, the receiver coach here at Florida, with the work he's done with these wide receivers.
Now there's a discussion down there on the field. Come on, Gators. Al Ford talking to the Bulldogs. Let's see what happened.
A dead ball personal foul against the offense. After the play was over, it'll be administered on the kickoff.
Spurrier to Ernie Mills. And to Dexter McNabb, happy with this performance today.
And here it is right here. Ernie Mills right here, and what he's going to do is just work up the seam. Georgia playing a 3-deep zone back in here, and what you got to do is just spread out that middle, the weak safety, and make him make a decision. That time, Chris Wilson caught in a bind. Nobody really jammed Ernie Mills, and Matthews was able to stick it in there before he could get there.
2 men, 2 legends, Eastwood and the Duke. Double features every night in a week of the stuff legends are made of. Beginning Monday at 8:05 Eastern on TBS Primetime.
26,000 new car owners. J.D. Power and Associates heard from them all. When they summed it up, Buick ranked 5th on their list of the 10 most trouble-free car lines sold in America. Buick outranked Honda, Acura, BMW, Nissan, Mazda, and every single domestic nameplate. Remember those 26,000 new car owners who road-tested all those cars for you. Then remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America and beyond.
Hey, Mr. Robinson, check out Mr. Mullins' neighborhood. What? San Antonio travels to Golden State. The NBA on TNT, Tuesday at 8. Bigger than life.
38-7. 3 touchdown passes today from Shane Matthews. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, thanks, Bob. On Sunday afternoons, you can see one Kansas City Royal breaking tackles. On Saturday, another on the sidelines. You're a big Gator fan, Storm Davis.
Yeah, big Gator fan. I grew up here in Jacksonville, and it's good to be back, you know, in here at the Florida-Georgia game, and we're winning this year.
And John Reeves says he's going to come watch the Royals.
I hope so. Hopefully we can get over to Kansas City and see some. Hopefully we'll play a little better this year.
We'll be on the right sidelines today. Back to you, Bob.
Thanks, Craig. It's 38-7, 2:52 to go in the third quarter. And how about this one? Tim Alex Vergara, who happens to be a Gator or statistician, comes up with some great Gator facts, of course. Shane Matthews, 17 TD passes this year. Spurrier's Heisman year, 16 TD passes. Carswell, who had the big return last time, pretty good job this time out near the 40.
Let's look at this touchdown from another angle here. Ground level. Nice little game inside by Georgia. Can't get there, though, on a quick set zone route. Touchdown as Wynn and Wilson get caught running for the seam. Ernie Mills, and I got to talk about Dwayne Dixon, is a receiver coach here, and he has just done an excellent job bringing this young man along.
Mills didn't have any touchdown catches coming into the ballgame. He has 2 today. Garrison Hurst trying to get a little yardage. He has been stymied all day long. Spear chases him out. Hurst, 7 carries, 19 yards. 2+ a carry, which won't get you many first downs, which Georgia doesn't have. Many. 6.
It's not an easy thing to do to develop a plan against a defense that's as talented as this one is.
Second down, 6. Ellis in motion. Hello. Who was the first man there this time? See Brad Culpepper getting up. Number 92 is Darren Mickle. Huey Richardson, number 90. This is tough calling plays as a coach because you can't run it or throw it. Neither one of them works well enough to even set the other one up from a Georgia point of view.
Right. George Hafner is the Georgia offensive coordinator, and he was a coordinator through the national championship years, and the same guy calling the plays is different players.
Talley going to go deep. McCoy took a vicious hit down there at the 33 by Monty Groh, who jarred the ball loose. But you get a feeling, and I know you said this earlier, Tim, as this Gator Bowl crowd cheers on, that Georgia might be more successful going this way with the ball, a little deeper.
Broom up one side. And this is the same kind of zone route that Florida threw for the touchdown. It just needs to happen sooner. Greg needs to get the ball in the air sooner, gets less air under it, and then you're giving your guy a shot downfield. But the more time that ball spends in the air, the more people are converging on it.
Armstrong, the last time he punted only 4 yards after a high snap. He's only averaging 30 on the day. See what he can do this time as Florida will be coming after that ball again. A little bit better this time. Here's Barber. It just sails out of bounds. And they'll spot it at the 26-yard line. 31-yard punt. So Florida, for the first time in a long time, is going to have to start in what would be called regular field position. From Matthews Bridge across the St. Johns River here in Jacksonville, Florida, the 68th meeting between the Bulldogs and the Gators. Driving out to the 32-yard line. Mike Jones from Pascagoula, Mississippi, this young sophomore leading the SEC in passing, updated, includes today's yardage, 2,275 yards.
And the amazing thing there is, we mentioned earlier, he had only taken 2 snaps coming into this season. Not an established veteran, no experience, and just Steve Spurrier has done an excellent job developing this young quarterback.
It is not the year of the quarterback in the SEC. Nobody standing out with the exception of Shane Matthews. Close to the first down, Eric Rett, and let's go to Ernie in Atlanta.
All right, Bob Neal. Tennessee had a 3-0 lead in Knoxville over Notre Dame when Irish quarterback Rick Meyer went back and hooked up with Rodney Culver. And you talk about a tough run. Watch Culver right down here about the 15. Bang! He's going to take it home for a 7-3 Notre Dame lead. The Vols have now kicked another field goal. It is 7-6, top-ranked Irish in the first. Back to Jacksonville.
Under a minute remaining in the third quarter here. Florida laying a whipping on Georgia, 38-7. First down at the 36 of Florida. The draw play to Rhett. Georgia ready for it that time. This ball game started off with turnovers. Looked like Georgia might have a chance to capitalize on some of them, but since then Florida started taking care of the ball, and that's really changed it a lot.
Well, what happened to Georgia was the same thing that happened to Auburn. The second quarter, it was just a disaster for both teams, and Florida just was very opportunistic defensively, took the ball away, and then they took advantage of it on offense.
That's going to be the last play of this quarter. Florida's starting to reach down deep onto the bench. We're going to see a lot of these Gators in the fourth quarter coming up right after this.
Winning. It can all come down to one spark plug. Champion. No other brand of spark plug in the world has fired more NASCAR, Indy, and Formula One drivers to victory than Champion. Imagine what Champion spark plugs can do for you. Plug in the winners. Plug in the Champion. Because when we race, you win.
Welcome to the Ryobi test track, where the wood carver is going through its paces. Attach this beauty to an angle grinder and it gets you where you want to go fast. Let's take a spin. Look at this incredible cornering ability. See how it powers through the straightaways, handles the curves, and gets you in and out of tight spots. The Ryobi wood carver is beauty in motion. Check it out at a power tool supplier near you. The Wood Carver. It's another workaholic from Ryobi.
Gillette announces a razor that can sense the individual needs of your face.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
Introducing the extraordinary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and adjust to your face for the best shave a man can get. Closer, smoother, safer. New Gillette Sensor.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
And the party's in full tilt in one half of this stadium as the Gator fans are singing and dancing. We've got about a 50-50 split crew here with Georgia and Florida people on our TBS crew, and some are singing and some of them have a lower lip hanging down.
That's right. You know, the exits are filled with red sweaters right now. You know, they've seen enough and they're heading home.
If Florida goes ahead with this margin of victory, it will be the biggest spread in the history of this series. That's how good Florida is, and that's how much Georgia is struggling here today. Ready for the final 15 minutes from the Gator Bowl. Second down, 11 Gators. And expect to see some new Gators in there as Matthews comes across the middle to Greg Keller. It's 38-7.
That's what Florida's been doing all year, Bob. A little play action to hold those linebackers in the middle. Two deep zone, vulnerable up the middle, and they hit it in there to Keller.
First down, 10 from the 43. Here comes Georgia after Matthews. Florida with a great job of picking it up again. Incomplete. A frustrated George Wynn wrestles freshman Harrison Houston down to the ground, but pass couldn't have been caught anyway. By the way, it'll be I said the largest margin of victory in this series. It'll be the largest Florida victory margin in the series, 38-7. Remember, Florida beat Auburn last week by 41. And the week before, Florida beat Akron 59-0. That wake-up call at Tennessee when Florida got beat up there.
I just heard from Hal Galima. He's the guy looking at the book down there, and he says Georgia beat Florida 75-0 in 52.
Jones at the 29-yard line. First Kelvin Randolph and then Alonzo Sullivan on the end around, a gain of 14.
And these are the guys that aren't playing. You know, I mean, they just indicates how deep in talent Florida is. Just a great move. Carswell set up and just froze him. Finally, Jones and Wynn push him out of bounds. That's a look at Alonzo Sullivan from Largo, Florida.
First down. Here's the draw play. Georgia's there for it this time. Eric Rhett is hit almost instantly by Travis Jones and dropped in his tracks. On the day, Rhett has only 24 yards carrying the ball. 10 carries, 24 yards. McClendon, 16 carries for 59.
Last week, Rhett 142 yards against Auburn. They're just giving McClendon a little bit more time, I think, this week.
Second down, 12. Matthews going deep. He's looking for Trey Everett. Couldn't get there. Trey and Al Jackson were doing the little tap dance down there. No penalty marker goes down. Florida remembers that 75-0 drubbing. They're trying to do likewise in this game. I don't think they're going to call the Gators off the Dogs this time.
You know, and it's different. I think things are different than they were 20 years ago. You get a lead like this, and most coaches would just kind of lay off. But now, with the national rankings at stake, you know, the writers and the voters, they all pick up on scores, and so you try to compile a high total.
Batted down at the line. Incomplete. The man who got it was Bernard Williams. There's a reason he batted that down. Like 6 feet 9 inches of reason.
6'9". He's blocked the field goal, blocked a couple extra points. We're going to the Copper Bowl here. I don't know what you're doing on New Year's Eve, but we're going to be in Tucson at the West. And prior to that event, we're going to be staying at the Westin La Paloma.
Bring your clubs.
Bring your racket.
In case they practice football on the tennis court and golf course, we'll be ready. Here's the Arden Krzyzewski punt. Nice job of dropping this thing down inside the 15. And Florida just runs under to grab it. The man who grabbed it was Dexter Smith, and we'll be back here. It'll be Georgia ball.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Wow.
Fluids. Minerals. Energy. In the heat of the game, nothing puts it back like Gatorade.
The 1991 Buick Regal sedan. It's going places. Regal features four-wheel disc brakes and an available 3800 V6 engine. Leather seating areas, concert sound, and anti-lock brakes are also available. Regal is going places in comfort with the spaciousness and Buick quality that gives its competitors fits. The new world-class four-door Regal from Buick, the new symbol for quality in America and beyond.
Portions of today's game are brought to you by Buick, the new symbol for quality in America, and by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows.
Well, we're trying to think of something positive to say for Georgia today, getting whipped 38-7. Here's one thing positive. John Casey hadn't had much opportunity today, but he's our days-in classroom champion. The senior place kicker from UGA has maintained respectable statistics both on the field and in the classroom. He's currently SEC's second-ranked place kicker, carries a 3.1 in broadcast news. John Casey, this week's days-in classroom champion. John, I hope you have a long pro playing career because we don't need any more crowd in the booth. We're just trying to earn a living up here, John. Here's Dupree in there for Georgia again now. Trying to hit McCoy, incomplete. Dupree's 1 out of 6 with 1 interceptions in his playing time so far today. And McCoy, also a youngster, he's just sophomore. Dupree, 18-year-old freshman out of Macon.
You know, we talked about that Copper Bowl. Tucson was lovely last winter. Just great. And,
tremendous talent.
The La Paloma has got a top 50 tennis complex and one of the top Jack Nicklaus courses in the country, so we'll be working hard.
Ephesians Bartley leveling Joe Dupree.
Looks like a replay from last week, and they just substituted quarterbacks. Instead of Stan White, it's Joe Dupree. Look at Bartley come. Ephesians. That ball, that was a fumble.
Sure looked like it.
The ball was out before his arm started to move. Looked like he dropped it on the upswing.
Perhaps a mercy call.
Right.
3rd down 17. It's back at the 6. That's bad enough. Ephesians, don't call me Fee Bartley.
Definitely a member of our all-name SEC team.
Larry Ware. Nice cut against the grain for Ware. Excellent run, about the best run of the day for the Georgia Bulldogs. No about to it. It was the best run of the day. It, too, was short of the 1st down, of course, because of the loss on the sack. So in comes Scott Armstrong, who's having a nightmare facing this Florida rush on the punt, averaging 30 yards a punt, and he knows if he does get it off, they've got to deal with Terrence Barber. Armstrong had been averaging 40.8 per punt coming into this game today. Today it's 30 yards. You'll see a lot of his blue shirts, one of the reasons. This time they're going to try to block the return, and it does not get a Georgia bounce again. But why would that happen today for the Bulldogs, where nothing is bouncing their way? Down 38-7, 11:31 to go.
Winning. It can all come down to one spark plug. Champion. No other brand of spark plug in the world has fired more NASCAR, Indy, and Formula One drivers to victory than Champion. Imagine what Champion spark plugs can do for you. Plug in the winners. Plug in the Champion. Because when we race, you win.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
We love to fly in the church.
Okay, you Florida partiers, get ready to party some more. 1986. This is the last time the Gators beat the Dogs this badly. Defense held the Dogs to 58 total yards in the 2nd half. Masterful performances also from Kerwin Bell. 20 pass completions, 3 TD passes, and the 31 points were the most Florida had ever scored versus a Vince Dooley Georgia Bulldog team winning 31-19. It is 38-7 here today in 1990. Tim, you and I were here for that game. Unfortunately, Eric Brett out of bounds at the 37.
I was talking to Kerwin Bell. I was in the office looking at tapes and saw Kerwin there, and he's recovering from surgery, and I hope he gets a chance to play in the NFL. I think he can make somebody a great quarterback as Shane Matthews leaves the field.
You see that Brian Fox has come onto the field for Florida. He's the sophomore from Winter Garden, Florida, 6'4", 215. And Terrell Jackson is into the ball game. And 2nd down 1. Going to be close to the 1st down. Brian Fox had trouble handling it. Here's Craig Sager.
Okay, Bob, with me is David Hargett, one of the many players from Georgia not able to play after the broken leg. It has to be frustrating to watch this.
Yes, it's very frustrating. I'm hurting for the guys, and I'm pretty sure they're hurting. But it's just something we have to get over. It's like we lack a lot of the fundamentals out there playing football right now.
Watching Kirkpatrick go across the middle, catch all those passes, has to be really frustrating for you, knowing that you would have been there.
Oh, of course. I mean, I love to make big plays. And, you just don't know how I feel. Right? I mean, I feel real bad right now because I want to be out there with them.
Well, you get another year. You get to come back, redshirting this year after the injury.
Yes, I'll be back next year.
Okay, he's one of 13 players to Georgia Bulldogs had counted on at the beginning of the year. They're not able to play in this game. Back to you, Bob.
And Florida gets the first down as they make the measurement. Thank you, Craig Sager. 38-7, Florida leads, and the first down goes. Georgia has not had a first down since there was 1:10 left in the first quarter.
You know, Georgia's season and LSU season has really, well, they've actually duplicated each other in a sense. Lost a lot of people and left playing really inexperienced youngsters that shouldn't be out there yet.
On the first down from the 35. And this time Fox is nailed by Mike Jones. Jones has 8 tackles, a sack, and a fumble recovery for this Georgia Bulldog team, number 9. And Brian Fox, a sophomore, gets welcomed into the ballgame.
This time they decide to bring him from the weak side, and Fox doesn't really hear him coming. It's amazing that he hung on to the football as far as that goes.
I guess he heard him right there at the end.
Right. Yeah, what is that noise? Oh, that's me.
That's me being hit. Yeah. Second down 20 from the 45. Fox is a big guy, 6'4", 215. Good strong arm. It's Eric Rett. Nice move to the 33-yard line. Remember, it was second down 20.
And he was freshman All-American by Sporting News, and had a good first year at Purdue. Decided to come down where they throw the ball, I guess.
Well, they will throw. Florida State having their way with Cincinnati today. Michigan in a close one with Illinois. 22-17. That was a fun. Third down 9 from the 33. Illinois stuffing kind of got knocked out by Iowa last week. Brian Fox under pressure again. Brian saying, wait a minute, where were these guys when Shane was in here? That was Travis Jones. He's a true freshman.
Well, now Georgia just blitzing on every passing down, just coming after him. And there was an exceptionally good protection all game long by the offensive line of Florida. Dixon and Ishmael, White, Bromley, and Rowell.
Well, we'll get to see Florida again next week up against Bill Curry's improving Florida team. Florida's playing Vanderbilt today.
Kentucky.
Kentucky, excuse me. Florida, Kentucky next week. This is fourth down 9, and Krzyzewski in for another pooch punt attempt. Florida couldn't get their punt team corrected, had to call a timeout here. They didn't have enough players on the field initially. With 9:16 to go in this ball game.
No coach likes that, likes to waste a timeout like that. It just looks bad. And I had lunch with a coach yesterday that never looked very bad. Actually Thursday, Bill Arnsparger, who's now the athletic director here at Florida, as successful as a defensive coordinator with the Dolphins, coaching some slow, untalented folks, and then on to LSU as a head coach before he decided to leave the sideline for the administration here, and he's got to be happy.
Georgia tried to come after that punt. Excellent job of getting it away by Krzyzewski. And it's going to go out of bounds inside the 10. They'll spot it down at the 7. Krzyzewski's the field goal kicker, and they put him into the punting job 3 games into the season, and he's responded beautifully, handling both tasks.
It was a sinus as well as a head cold.
Lead weights in my face all through here. It eventually gets in my head. It felt like a clogged drain.
It was time to go down with a cold.
Last year, 7 million people discovered Coadvil.
Coadvil just cleared everything up.
It was like the lead weights had just gone away.
My sinuses were clear.
The headache was gone.
I was not drowsy with Coadvil at all.
Try Coadvil, and the next cold won't seem so bad.
Coadvil, advanced formula for cold and sinus relief.
Bitter irony. The U.S. spends a decade supporting Iraq in their war with Iran. Now, failed foreign policy and millions in misused loans have created a military monster. A CNN special assignment throughout the day, Monday.
Die-Hard, America's most trusted replacement battery. Its breakthrough design gives you more power and more confidence from the start. Sears Die-Hard, more power when you need it most.
St. John's River, you see the wind still whipping up pretty good down here. There were tornado warnings yesterday. The weather has improved somewhat here today. Rain has stopped. Georgia once again deep in their hole. They get it out here to about the 10-yard line.
We talked about the wind prior to the game. Obviously, it's had a devastating effect on Florida's offense, right, Bob? Shane Matthews thrown for 344 yards.
He'd have probably had 444 without the wind.
I don't know. He's looked awfully sharp from the first day he took a snap here in real life.
8:34 to go in the ball game. Georgia just unable to get anything going at all. Larry Ware, the latest Georgia ball carrier to gain no yardage. Dexter Smith makes the stop for the Gators.
And you see Darren Mickle right there, number 92. That rascal's got 2 touchdowns on interceptions. He's intercepted 2 passes and returned them for touchdowns. Could be a fullback next year. Probably not. 270 pounds.
3rd down 6. Georgia 0 for 10 on 3rd down conversions. Do they get it? Oh, maybe. This would be the first 3rd down conversion of the day and the first down for Georgia since 1:10 was left in the first quarter.
The Georgia fans are coming to their feet. Great effort by Larry Ware.
There are Shane's numbers. 146-14 since Tennessee beat Florida 45-3.
Well, I'm sure if there's one decision that we'll talk about in a second.
Here's Dupree. He's got a lot of running room and the speed we talked about. So Dupree gets out here to the 39-yard line, and he goes down hard over here on the sideline in front of the Florida bench. He's all right. And that's something that Ray Goff hopes he can get out of this quarterback. One of the reasons they'll try to play him.
This definitely adds another dimension to the game. White can't get there to take his responsibility. Jimmy Spencer hustles over, and whoa, Jerry Anderson goes down.
Godfrey Miles got him.
Oh.
So another Georgia first down. That's 2 in a row after not getting any since the first quarter. Florida starting to substitute a bit defensively, which should loosen it up some. Larry Ware. You see in the picture there, Dexter Smith. He's a backup player.
But Jerry Anderson, the defensive line coach, was a head coach at Carroll City, and Carroll City is almost like a feeder school for Florida. You got Timmy Paulk came from there. Who else? Godfrey Miles came from there. James Spears, Del Spears. You got 4 starters from that one high school. 4 great players.
2nd down 4 from the 45. Here comes Larry Ware. Another Georgia first down. Huey Daring Mickle making the play. And Darren Mickle is back up to Huey Richardson. As we say, a lot of the Florida 2nd and 3rd teamers are getting there defensively now with 6:42 to go in the ball game. Florida up 38-7.
Talking about great coaching jobs. How about those Dolphins, Bob?
Playing very well.
7-1, and Tom Olivedani is a defensive coordinator. He should get the assistant coach of the year or something. Doing a great job with that defense.
Nice job of delivering ball that time by the freshman Joe Dupree. He had something on that pass. It was a tough one to the 33 to Sean Hummings. Gain of 11 yards. Threw it about 35 yards over to the sideline there. Tough pass.
Let's watch the 6s work against each other. Sean Hummings from Georgia, Jimmy Spencer for Florida. Spencer covered him underneath, has deep help. Hummings works his way clear, and Dupree did deliver it on time and stiff. It got there in a hurry.
First down at the 33-yard line of Florida. Georgia trying to execute an effective drive for the first time since the first quarter. Dupree driving to the 27. Bartley hit him over there, number 44 first. And Georgia, it's not going to get any easier. Coming up next, Auburn. A rest date, and then Georgia Tech. Ooh. I'm sure the open date, Georgia could have a tough time that week, the way things have been going for them.
Well, the way injuries have attacked this team, and already a matter of lack of depth. They just they wish they had an eraser. They could erase those last 2 games and just get on to the off season.
Garrison Hurst with very little yardage. The line to make for the first down is the 23.
There you see Mike Steele, number 97. He's a nose tackle, 265. Played tackle last year, but because of all the injuries, they had to move him inside. Played with Eric Coney in there, 93. He's 225 pounds. He's playing defensive line. That's just not big enough in this league.
3rd down 3. Dupree cutting it up inside to get the first down. You're getting a little bit of a taste of what Dupree can bring to this team. The strong arm, the quick feet, and a little bit of an option look. That's why Ray Goff's looking at this youngster. He's a true freshman. He thought of redshirting him and decided he better get him some game experience because they frankly need a threat at quarterback. If Greg Talley had a lot of talent around him, Greg Talley would be a tremendous quarterback.
Yeah, because he's a good leader and a good athlete, but he doesn't have the superior ability to be able to do it on his own.
1st and 10, right in the face of Dupree, and that ball was almost picked off by Fee Bartley. The man who tipped it was Mark Murray. Dupree looked up over to the left side, and right in his face was Murray. I mean, I'm talking as he lifted his head up. We thought that this could be a tough game. Did you see Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech tied at 3 in the 4th quarter? Georgia Tech coming off that big win over Virginia. Kentucky leading Vanderbilt at the half. Kentucky will play Florida next week. Alabama leading LSU 7-3.
And they always give them a hard time up there.
Larry Ware is welcomed to the turf at the 20-yard line, right at the line of scrimmage by Dexter Smith. 4:21 to go in this ball game. A lot of red shirts in the stands are now dressed as empty seats.
They evaporated. But they know that you know, coming in an 18-point underdog, you hope for a little while, but then reality sets in.
Almost picked off, intended for Shannon Mitchell. It's Tim Pauk, who had an interception earlier for a touchdown, almost got another one.
Just a very well-prepared defensive football team, Bob. They play the patterns well within the framework of their zone. If it's man-to-man, they anticipate well. Great job by this staff. And these guys are great athletes. That also helps.
4th down 10. Georgia will, of course, go for it with 3:50 to go in the ball game. Into the end zone. Incomplete. Monty Grove was the man over there trying to pull it down. Dupree was knocked down as he let it go. That's 4 downs and out. Again, a big cheer for this Florida defense.
When things get this hot, you know something's going down. New orange and new fruit punch Gatorade. Now with more orange, more fruit punch, more natural fruit flavor than ever. Cooling that heat with fluids, minerals, energy. New bigger and better orange and fruit punch. Gatorade. Going down easy, just like the other team. It's Thursday for that deep down body thirst.
It was a sinus as well as a head cold.
Lead weights in my face all through here. It eventually gets in my head. It felt like a clogged drain.
It was time to go down with a cold.
Last year, 7 million people discovered Coadvil.
Coadvil just cleared everything up.
It was like the lead weights had just gone away.
My sinuses were clear.
The headache was gone.
I was not drowsy with Coadvil at all.
Try Coadvil, and the next cold won't seem so bad.
Coadvil, advanced formula for cold and sinus relief.
Well, Shane Matthews, 344 yards, 3 touchdowns. What more can he do? Well, he can join us on television. Here's Craig.
Well, thanks, Bob. Normally, we wait till after the game, but I think the game's been pretty well decided. Shane, congratulations.
Well, you know, I'm happy with the victory. We played a great game offensively and defensively today, and, you know, we're all extremely happy.
Everybody said keep the intensity level up. worried about a letdown after Auburn. What was practice like this week?
Well, you know, our coaches just kept telling us to plug away and, you know, play hard these last 3 games, and we've got another one out of the way, and we got 2 more to go.
Well, you know, Florida always brings the best out in Georgia. Obviously, Georgia brought the best out in you today.
I believe they did. You know, like I said, we're just extremely happy to win this game.
Congratulations. Back to you, Bob.
Kyle Morris is in now, the junior from Clinton, Mississippi. Brian Fox had a run at it while Shane rests, and Morris will hand off to number 30, Kelvin Randolph.
I want to know how Shane can keep that black stuff under his eyes from smudging.
A lot of ladies would like to know that. It's mascara.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff looked like it was taped on there. You can't do that. It's got to be messy, you know. Spread it out over your cheeks a little bit. You know, rub it around in your eyes. You telling me he never broke a sweat?
Apparently not, and I can understand that today. Kedra Malone and Kelvin Randolph are in the backfield for Florida. Kedra Malone, the freshman, he's a true freshman from Niceville, Florida, with the carry. 2:58 mercifully remaining in this game. 38-7, Florida out in front. Of course, the Florida fans who just had so much adversity the last several years with the probation, the changes in the coaching staff, the problems, the off-field, off-campus problems with crime in Gainesville, with the murders recently at the beginning of the season. So this football team has really helped band that community together, give them something to look forward to. Now, believe me, you can look forward to Florida. We'll have them on television again next week against Kentucky
Florida
from
ball
Lexington.
Was snapped, the offense in the neutral zone, violation, 5-yard penalty.
Now that's a very composed wave. It's number 52. That's William Wynn. Little George Wynn's brother. Kyle Morris, also a Mississippi product. Going to run out the string here for Florida.
Kyle Morris doesn't see the right thing, so he calls a timeout with 2:08 remaining, and he'll come over to the sideline to talk to Steve Spurrier.
In the independent J.D. Power & Associates initial quality survey, only one American car line ranks in the top 10. But then, quality has never been foreign to Buick. There are more than 1,400 refinements engineered into the new Buick Park Avenue. Come see it and start counting. Park Avenue for 1991. From Buick, the new symbol for quality in America and beyond.
It started with close and comfortable. Now the new Norelco razor brings you even closer with the same legendary comfort. To reach this new level of shaving perfection, our patented lift and cut system has been improved to lift each hair and cut it even closer without the blades touching your skin. So you get an even closer shave with the same incredible comfort. The new Norelco. It's more than a great shave. It's a whole new level of closeness and comfort.
Florida headed for their largest margin of victory over Georgia ever in this series. Most points ever scored against the Vince Dooley team was 31 back in '86 in the 31-19 Florida victory. Kyle Morris throwing the out pattern over here to 84 Harrison Houston. And out of bounds at about the 26-yard line, short of the first down. Georgia will get their hands on the ball again with 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. Not many Georgia fans remaining, as they saw enough. I guess they could.
The only Georgia fans that are left are ones that are getting rides home from Florida fans. That's only
That's only 6 or 7 people, knowing Georgia Florida fans. It's a punting situation for the Gators. Nice job by Krzyzewski again. The Gators really found themselves a punter in their field goal kicker. It's a good roll down here to the 29-yard line. He got a 45-yarder that time against the wind. With a minute 49 to go, Georgia comes back on the field.
One of the biggest fans of the Southeastern Conference is right here. Ruby Tuesday Restaurants.
And as its founder, I can't think of a better way to support SEC sports and academics than by joining the conference as an official corporate sponsor. And it's a great way to cheer on an organization started over 50 years ago. So for all excitement in sports, let's turn to the Southeastern Conference. And turn to Ruby Tuesday when you're ready to relax.
See you guys later. So, what's Gary doing? Oh, nuclear engineering. Whoa, nuclear engineering?
You're all ahead 1/3.
Oh, he's studying, huh? But he hasn't been out of high school that long.
Well, it's an accelerated program.
Today's Navy. High-tech training that takes you only one way. Full speed ahead.
You went the Navy, full speed ahead.
Georgia ball, Tim, you'd think that Ray Goff would start playing some youngsters now with the game out of reach here. Joe Dupree. Look at that speed. Chased out of bounds out here to the 43-yard line. If he goes any younger, they'll have to be 9th graders with this young Georgia football team. Dupree is showing a little bit of the things that they're looking for out of him, the ability to run the ball when he has to.
To make something out of a bad play, and that's what he can do. Got a good strong arm, good feet, and he's very, very mobile. Can you imagine if instead of Rowan Backfish as our producer for this game, Skip Ellison was still here?
Skip and Roe, both Georgia graduates. Skip up in Chicago now, probably watching today. He's probably the viewer up in Chicago at this moment.
No.
Skip was tipped by Philip Johnson.
He'd have cranked this Hummer off in the second quarter.
A minute 34 to go in this game. Penalty marker is down.
It's sometimes hard for fans to understand the transitions that football teams and programs go through.
Offensive face mask, be 15 yards, still be first down.
Well, Georgia's in a transition, no question about that, from the Vince Dooley years to the Ray Goff years. An academic transition that happened during the Jan Kemp situation at Georgia. And Georgia Tech and Florida State and Auburn, and a lot of teams that have been getting a lot better. Tennessee come to reach into Georgia and battle for those recruits too. Dupree on the pitch to Garrison Hurst. There's some of the players of the future. Hurst is knocked out of bounds by Groh and Spencer. Ray Goff thinks Hurst is going to be a very good football player. He's not shown a lot today, hasn't had much opportunity.
Right, but he isn't the size of a Herschel Walker. You know, he's not the power back, but very elusive and a real fierce runner up inside, a courageous young back, and I agree. I think he's going to be fantastic.
Dupree's going to go long. The deepest players back there were Florida players. He's tried to get to Chad Wilson, number 19. Minute 19 to go in this ball game.
Wilson.
Dupree now throwing the ball 2 of 12 for 12 yards on the day as he gets some game experience here in the Gator Bowl. At least he's not having to play in front of 82,000 at the moment, as many of the Georgia fans are going home already. Hurst stood up at the 37-yard line. And Georgia doesn't convert again, so they'll have to punt it away. This will be the 10th punt of the day for Scott Armstrong. And Florida has sent back Monty Duncan to take the punt this time. Barber had been returning the ball all day as Spurrier is clearing the bench. Clock ticking, 43 seconds remaining. That was kind of a double clutch. Scott Armstrong gets a Georgia bounce this time down to the 23-yard line. Penalty marker is down. It's going to go against Georgia with 23 seconds to go in the ball game.
didn't want to run all the way down there and not have somebody to hit. So he took it. Took a shot at Monty Duncan.
A dead ball foul, personal foul against the kicking team. Be first down and 10.
So Florida is looking to beat Auburn, Georgia in back-to-back games for only the 6th time in school history. And there have been 38 back-to-back games scheduled. Florida, Georgia often has the week off, but in recent years, Florida has had to play Auburn and Georgia back-to-back, and they're going to get them both this time. They fake the end run, and Kedra Malone keeps it on the right side with 16, 15, and this will be the last play of this ball game. And Steve Spurrier gets the win over Ray Goff. Goff is 1-1 against Florida, and Steve Spurrier is 1-0 against Georgia. So the Florida Gators are out to an 8-1 start. Georgia falls to 4-5, and this is the best start for Georgia, for a Florida team, the best record at this point in time since the 1928 great Gator team and the 1966 team, quarterbacked by that man, Steve Spurrier. And let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, thank you very much, Bob. Steve Spurrier, I saw you throw some Gatorade on a couple of your players over there earlier.
Yeah, those two guys got me last week, so I snuck up on them this week.
Culpepper and Burry.
Yeah, those were the two culprits last week.
The defense played outstanding, so did the offense.
We got the best defense in the country. We're ranked second. I think we're just as good as Clemson, maybe a little better. But anyway, that's what gives us so many chances. We screwed up a bunch today. Had a chance for a lot more points, but we didn't need them. So hopefully someday when we need them, we'll get them.
You kept preaching. Keep up the intensity level this week. No letdown.
This is a different team. These guys are ready to play. All we got to do is just put the uniform on them and let them go at it.
Shane Matthews was outstanding.
Shane gets better each week. He missed a few guys here and there, but overall he was outstanding.
Well, congratulations. We'll see you next week against Kentucky.
Thanks.
Let's go back to Ernie Johnson in Atlanta.
All right, thank you very much, Craig Sager down there in Jacksonville. Boy, Florida really lays the lumber to Georgia in our TBS SEC Game of the Week. Now, we've got time to look at the top 25 in the marquee game, #1 Notre Dame, traveling to Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee, to take on the Vols, who had a 3-0.
Number 84 is Harrison Houston. And kicking off for Kentucky is number 21, Doug Pelfrey. This game is